100%
Hunter
accurate.
1 set security on the objectives.
Who is this?
Mr. Beast? Hello?
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 Yo,
Yo, what's up?
what's up? That was quite the conversation you were having with old way up there.
I mean, it was alright.
Yeah. That's a word for it. Do you have that? I wish you had that thing you had up earlier on your background because I wanted to ask you about one of the things you had. I think it was like the Big Bang Theory. It was like the Big Bang Theory happened.
Yes.
Yeah. You want to? I just wanted you to explain that a little more. Just kind of like go into a little more detail about that. I was just curious about what your stance was on that.
Well, actually, there's not a ton of detail that really needs to get into. I mean, we live in
1
an
minute
expanding
left.
universe. That is a Big Bang model of the universe.
Right.
There was the steady state model, which worked in a slightly different way, and the steady state model, like you could have an expanding universe and that would work, I guess. But like cosmologically,
We
that's
lost that
been
round.
other things that
Stand by
verify
for
the
the
Big
next
Bang
one.
model, like finding the CMB. That was
Oh, hit you with the... Oh!
radiation at the end. Introduces a tautology, so I shouldn't have said that.
Search
But
and
I mean,
destroy.
it's just basically the Big Bang happened a little less than 14 billion years
All
ago.
hunters secure
I got you.
perimeter around the
So you just
objectives.
believe? So you just accept the Big Bang Theory as fact, and there's no other. You just don't want to acknowledge any other possibility of anything that could happen to create our universe.
Well, I have no idea what created the universe. I just know that the universe stands.
Right.
Or I acknowledge the evidence, the overwhelming evidence that tells us that our universe expanded from an initial state of unimaginable density and temperature.
It doesn't
That's the
make
Big
any claim as to what came before, or if that question even makes sense. It's just what happened after.
Hostile care package in the area.
Gotcha.
Just we used to be smaller, now
Down
we're
to
bigger.
you. Finish the
And we
mission.
keep getting bigger. That's about it.
Like, what are your views?
Me?
My views.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. I
Last
know my
minute.
views, Planet Peterson.
Who are you talking to me?
I'm talking to you.
Oh, what my views on what?
Just like the origin of the universe.
I don't know. I mean, the way I always saw it when I was learning about the Big Bang Theory in school, and everything like that, is that the
Survivor.
Big Bang was just a theory
at Alpha.
and nothing more than that. It was just it's just the best explanation that scientists had figured it for. So it wasn't fact. It's not the Big Bang fact.
It is a
theory,
theory.
you know what I mean?
It
Yeah.
absolutely is a theory, but you have to understand what a theory means when
909.
discussing science. A theory is the highest level anything can rise in science. It is the best possible outcome for anything.
So
It is the model that
Search
accurately
and
explains
destroy.
an observed phenomenon or occurrence. It's
Most
literally the
accurately.
best you can
Set
get.
the charge on the
Right, but
target
who
and
says
detonate
there's
it.
not an opportunity for another?
We have to survive.
There always could. I mean, that's how any scientific an idea, like a scientific idea or scientific theory, it can't be a scientific one unless it's falsifiable. So in principle, it could, but that doesn't
Right.
mean that it will, because there has to be some things that are true, and if we know what the true facts are, then we could only ever
Bomb secure.
remove them by committing errors.
yeah.
Right. So, I mean, when you say it's like you said, it's the best explanation scientists have come up with, but it's just a theory. Putting those two things together
Planting
is
bomb at Alpha.
really not. It's
It'll work.
it
All
really
hunters,
undermines.
devices set. Stand by to
The second thing
detonate.
undermines the first thing, right? The best idea that scientists have come up with, those are our best ideas. So then to say it's just a theory, kind of undermines how science works.
Yeah.
And
I
that's the
guess
thing,
you
it's
can call
based-
you can
it's
call me
based
an
on the
optimist
actual
then.
evidence.
I don't know. That's just how I've always seen it. But I'm not saying that the Big Bang Theory is wrong, but I'm also not saying the Big Bang Theory is right. You know what I'm saying? So I mean,
Sure, yeah. It's always good to be able to say, I
Literally just pulled the
I
shit out.
would look for more information.
Yeah.
The only problem is when you say, I don't know, and therefore insert random sentence. That's the only time you're like,
Right.
I don't know is a beautiful answer. I don't know is an honest
Search
answer.
and
I
destroy.
like
It's
I
an
don't
open
know.
door.
Absolutely.
All
Alright,
hunters,
so, what's
plant
going
a
on,
charge
guys?
on the
How we
target
going
and
today?
destroy it.
We're doing all right.
You know, so the last guy that was in, I
Secured the
swear
bomb.
that guy's got to be Jamal.
No,
That's
I don't
gotta
think
be
it
the-
was Jamal.
Man, they sound so similar. You know, I'm a Christian, all right, but I don't go into people's lives and preach to them because at the end of the day, you know, it just gets old. You know, the Bible is not scientific, but it is accurate. You know, it is a historically accurate book, and science has proven that it is historically accurate to archaeology.
Wait,
So-
Not as accurate as you might think.
Yeah,
What-
maybe in
what-
some ways.
yeah. What
Parts
sort
of it.
are historically accurate? Or,
Your mic is cutting out a little bit, Anomaly. Yeah,
Oh.
if you have like headphones, that might help.
I don't have headphones, but oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, can you tell me what stories in the Bible are historically accurate? Or no evidence for?
Well, I mean, I don't know completely first. Oh, all right, yeah, I know a couple, but I can't just found the accurate scripture. But number one is Mount Sinai, where you can actually go there today, and in the Bible it talks about it caught fire, right? And it burned the top of the mountain. You can actually go there today and see it for yourself. Another one is the Temple Mount, where Jesus spoke. You can actually go there today and see it for yourself. Now, this was actually written in the Bible, right? Thousands of years ago. So this is historically accurate archaeology. Now, I'm not saying that sin can be proved and that, we're all sinners and all this stuff. I believe that we are all sinners, but that's for me to believe and for you to to gather your own beliefs on. It does say in the Bible that you're not supposed to argue scripture with someone. You're not supposed to use the Bible as a source to argue a point across. And it actually says that in the Bible that Jesus can literally come back from the dead and walk up to a non-believer and they wouldn't even know they would still question whether he was a god, right?
I mean, if a zombie came up, I'd be pretty convinced.
Well, no, but that's the story of Lazarus. You know what I mean? So I mean, you got the story of Lazarus being brought back from the dead.
That's not accurate. That's not like shown to be true, right? So the examples that you gave two locations. Just showing a location doesn't show the accuracy of the story,
Exactly.
right? So like when you're talking about Mount Sinai, right? Who went to Mount Sinai? It's Moses. If you look into the story of Moses, it's not even shown that the story of Moses ever happened. It's not even shown that the person Moses ever existed, let alone a mass exodus of slaves from Egypt that traveled the desert and wound up on Mount Sinai where the laws were given to Moses by God, right? None of these things are shown to have actually happened. Just having a location doesn't show accuracy of story.
Well, if you get into what I said the Bible is not scientific, right? The Bible's. I didn't say anything about the story. I said the
Well,
Bible.
you said it was
accurate to
though, right?
accurate to archaeology. What is archaeology?
Well, then I can say a Spider-Man comic book is accurate to archaeology because an archaeologist can go to New York and prove that New York exists. That doesn't really mean much.
But that was written 50 years ago. We're having a Bible that was written, 2,000 plus years ago, right?
Sure, the
People-
writing back
That the Gilgamesh
around
was
the
written
Bible.
before that.
People who wrote the Bible were in these locations.
Right, like Jerusalem is a real place. I
Yeah.
think we can agree on that. Things like that. I don't doubt that they're mentioning real countries, real locations, at least. But that's the thing. Just mentioning a location, kind of like Matthew brought up, doesn't really mean much. Spider-Man was based in New York. No, New York is real, but
Right.
Doesn't
And
really mean Spider-Man's real.
I'm in Alabama and I can write about Alabama, but like, does it mean I can write a story in Alabama? Does it mean
I saw
Let me ask you something. The host is a teacher, right? You're a teacher.
Yeah.
Okay, I got a question for you, and I'm not. It's not an accusation. It's just a question. When you're teaching a class, do you incorporate any of your philosophy or ideological principles in your curriculum?
Securing objective Bravo.
I don't.
Like
You
when
would
you're
have
teaching
to.
when you're teaching science,
Yeah.
do you incorporate your own philosophy, your own
Supply
ideological
online.
beliefs in science and into the science that you're teaching?
I only teach them the science, and then I try to teach them. I try to explain why science is a good tool, and sometimes I give historical perspectives of great accomplishments science has done, terrible things that have been done using science, times that science has been like hijacked by people, interesting people. So like I try to make them understand that science is good and useful. So, and that science is an excellent tool for trying to figure out the world. Now, is that my personal philosophy? Yeah, I guess. I don't teach, like for example, I don't believe in God. I would never tell a student that they shouldn't believe in God.
Well, no,
Never
that's
done
not,
that, and I never
that's not what
will.
I'm getting at. So if we were to teach the history of where science
Objective
came
Bravo
from,
is compromised. Take it back. Friendly
I mean, you would have to teach about you wouldn't have to necessarily teach about God, but you would have to admit that science came from institutions of
We are
religion.
taking Bravo.
Because almost every single human being was religious when science was invented. So
Objective Bravo
So
secure.
but
that doesn't mean that it gets credit.
Yeah. Religion wasn't the like science didn't originate from religion. Like
Yeah, there's
religious
there's a-
people doing science. Science originated
Yeah.
not from philosophy.
Science is a depersonalized, unbiased, secular methodology. It has nothing to do with religion.
Exactly.
Well, the thing about it is, religious institutions created higher education, and
We
nowadays
control two objectives.
we pretty much mock religion, or we try to what we call it today is secular humanism, right? Progressive secular humanism. That's basically we are progressing as a society. We are getting rid of religion and we're replacing it with science. All right, but science in
They're-
itself
they're
started
different
with
things.
religion.
Wait, no, it did not.
Hey,
Oh.
hey,
You
Trucker.
can't really replace a religion with science, right?
We are both Bravo.
They're their own
They're
thing.
not the
So
same thing.
religion and science can coexist. One does not butt heads with the other.
Yeah,
One
no,
is faith-based, the other is evidence-based.
So, hey, Trucker, I
Well, see,
gotta
that's
ask
not-
a question,
well,
if it's okay. Do you understand there is
Friendly
a vast difference between a person who
Securing objective
believes
Bravo.
in a religion
The
developing a
enemy is gaining
concept
ground. Push them back.
versus a concept coming from religion? Do you
Enemy
understand
has
they're
captured
two
two
completely separate
objectives.
things?
Secure Bravo.
yes.
Bravo secure.
So yeah, well, so when we talk about science and education, these are institutes that have come from people who believe in religions, but they are not part of the religion themselves. They did not come from the religion. Like there's nothing about Christianity that
Enemy is taking Bravo.
preaches or teaches education.
Exactly.
Like if a Christian man makes a satellite, that
Objective
doesn't
Bravo
mean
is
the
compromised.
information
Take
to
it
make
back.
the satellite came from God. It just means the
Right.
person believes in God and also knows how to make a satellite.
Right, and like I said earlier, there's
Well, you-
We
Alright, so
we got
we're all-
we got
we're-
very far off
we're
of the
humans, right?
your original question or point. So I'm just curious, and I have to go very soon because it's very late.
Okay.
Why did you ask if I bring my personal philosophy into the classroom?
Well, I was in
Two
another
objectives.
life,
Get them
and
secured.
to be honest with you, I like the guy. He was a nice gentleman, but he claimed that he was a professor and that he was that was basically teaching his philosophy while he was teaching about science. And I thought to myself, I thought, isn't that like immoral? I mean, isn't it like a maybe I'm wrong. I didn't know. That's why I was asking you. I guess that's what I was leading up to. Is that immoral or is that against the law? I don't know. I mean, if you were to think, if I was to be a teacher and then I brought my religion into the curriculum I was teaching, wouldn't that be wrong?
Well, that's illegal. I think would be deeply unprofessional and unethical. But I've heard people say this over. I've heard this from so many people. They had a science teacher in high school that said, "Look, I have to teach you evolution. Personally, I don't believe it, but we have to do it." And then they just it's a complete joke what they're taught, right? That is, I think that's completely unethical, right? But me, I mean, I don't have any religious beliefs, but some of my students know that, most of them don't, but I don't ever talk about it.
It's really not relevant.
I was just asking. I wasn't accusing you. I was just asking.
Secure Bravo.
No, yeah, that's fine.
You're probably a really good teacher, and I like teaching. I miss school. I've been out of school now for 18 years. I've held on to some of it, not a lot of it. Some of it's been washed away in times. I've been trying to get back into learning, and to be honest with you, I'd like to continue my college education once I get ahead far enough. You know, it's as an adult, you just kind of go out there in the world. You become a responsible person, and life just kind of passes you by. It's like the times just speed up. Like you're talking about the universe is expanding, the Big Bang Theory, right?
Friendly UAV online.
To be honest with you, I can almost believe in a Big Bang Theory because the Bible actually talks about the God flowing, the world into existence. So I mean,
The enemy has captured
Okay.
2 objectives.
I'm not opening the table up for any more discussions or debates because I gotta go in like a little bit. It's midnight and work, but thank you.
You didn't take no bullets.
Enemy is securing Bravo.
So I got a problem. Way up, he got kicked out, right? Which means that I cannot download this live. But there's a workaround for that.
But also, don't feel
If
forced
my
to take
live
me.
access gets
You
shut
both
down
do that
and I
for
appeal
the
it,
dog.
that lately, that pretty much always, usually the appeal doesn't work. I don't get my live access back, but the video all of a sudden becomes available. But you can't
Yeah, not send it.
do that. You can't appeal just
We are
the
taking Bravo.
playback. You have to appeal like you
The
getting it.
enemy holds 2
Right?
objectives. Get them
So now I'm
secured.
sitting here like,
Enemy is taking
do I
Charlie.
just ask everybody to mask so I can get banned and then appeal it and then
You
get
could
the
ask to see if anybody in the chat was screen recording.
Shit is wild, man.
possible? Although that conversation with him, I think.
Yeah, the girls definitely should have been reaching out to you. I don't know why they haven't.
But-
I don't know. If you go on the computer, can you not download it?
Well,
Or
because
is
they
it?
reach
No,
out
I'm
to
looking at it
people
right
that
now.
they
and
don't
It's
bizarre.
not
Honestly, that's
available.
I mean,
Which
the
is
live
weird
is
that
still
it's even letting
ongoing.
me look at that because this live isn't over yet. But
But it still says community guidelines violation
yeah,
on
this
it.
live isn't available due to a violation of community guidelines. That's what it says. February 13th. Yeah, that was technically yesterday.
Someone said maybe Globe Manhattan. No, I don't. Only the host has the recording of the live saved to their TikTok account. It won't be in my live center.
Yeah.
The only way would be if somebody just happened to be screen recording at the time. There was like 700 people in here at the time, so it was possible.
I stopped looking at the live count. There were a lot of people.
I do that
watching.
too. I'll start playing video games and I'll just set my phone down and not even look at it.
Yeah, I try to just, I can't pay attention to too many things at once.
He was joking, but not joking. But we're gonna say it's a joke because he was being cool before.
Wait,
God,
he's
I gotta-
actually.
I gotta drop.
Do I sound
No.
older than I actually am?
No, you don't.
Okay, cause no,
yet,
About
brother.
Noah. What was Noah
Brother.
not seeing at that time? Let's go back
Bro.
to Noah's day to find out what
Bro,
it's talking about
bro,
when it
stop
pertains
this
to what
nonsense,
Noah
man.
wasn't
Stop
seeing.
this nonsense. I'm just gonna remove you, bro, and go to the next guest. I'm giving you way too much time. If you keep doing that nonsense, you can go and lie.
Because
Good haircut.
I
dumb
need
face.
I need that replay. Like this has happened several times where like I've lost the live replay, and I was like, no, that one was really good. This one, no, I need that clip. Those clips. It was absolutely top 10 anime betrayals. Yep, that's pretty much what we're doing here.
If it does end up getting taken down, it'll just suddenly end.
Yeah, if you see me all of a sudden, well, I think
what doesn't kill Peterson makes him stronger.
Yes, exactly. I think it'll give you a little thing that's like the host has been banned for blah blah blah.
Well,
blah, blah.
this live has been ended due to community guidelines violation or something along those lines.
They said there's no other option. I don't know, just do it for misinformation. That's probably what he
Yeah,
gets reported for by
misinformation
angry
easy.
people
Yeah.
anyway.
Just misinformation. I was telling the truth, which, you know, a lot of people regard that as misinformation.
I'm streaming with your live in the background, so a bit of it was recorded. Yeah, that's not the same though.
I need the whole thing. plus like the audio with the microphones really impersonating
better,
another
yeah.
person. That's funny.
Yeah.
The guy did claim that we were God, so
True. Yeah, you could be impersonating Jeebus himself.
You did claim to have some sort of divine nature when you made your own Bible. It was only one verse long, but it was a powerful verse.
What's his name has poopy pants.
I guess this will be proof whether or not mass reporting actually matters.
That's a good point, yeah.
Because flat earthers always, like, they think I get people to mass report them. It's like, I don't share your guys' videos. I don't want you to get more views.
I don't think anybody's going to be able to ever claim Peterson gets people to mass report because he can't even get them to mass report himself.
Yeah,
He's asking his fans to do it, and they're like, no.
Come on, guys. I asked for very little.
It's like, I refuse.
That is blasphemy. Jeebus. Oh, that's who he is. Or it's like that one movie where they had the restaurant Jesus Crust.
Jesus Christ.
It's pretty good.
Oh, man.
Bro's failing at getting banned. Yeah, how bad do you have to be at TikTok to not even be able to get banned?
The one time I asked for it. Under review. Okay, well. Usually, I mean, I've had it happen in less than 5 minutes, or I've had a live go less than like, well, no, not 5. Well, I think my shortest ever live was like 15 minutes. I went on my backup account and I just went scorched earth pathway on these two guys and I got banned. Glowman, I think you were there for that one.
I could have been. Oh yeah, I think
said like
you
I
messaged
asked
me
him
after.
what are he called me it was the guy that said all white people are evil. And I was like, so what are you? And he said, I'm a homo galactic blah 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 blah. And I was like, you're a what? And then I kept making fun of him for saying
Was it on?
that.
Wait,
and I
was it
got
on
banned.
Maria's live by chance?
No, it was mine. I was on my backup account.
Oh, I don't know if I remember that. Sounds like something that
Maybe
I've
it was
heard though
Simon
before.
then, but
I don't know, I hear a bunch of crazy shit every single day, so it's hard to distinguish.
It is so incredibly hard to keep track.
Try being permanently banned twice with no previous reports or warning. That happened to me once, but the quote-unquote permanent ban was only 7 days.
Yeah, that happened to me too. That was in the summer. I was so pissed. What did I have? I think I don't remember how many followers I had at that time. It was over 50,000, I think. But I was so pissed off. And that's why I created my backup account. And then, yeah, a week later, and that was really weird because I originally only got banned for 3 days or a week. But then when I appealed it, they're like, not only did you fail your appeal, but you're banned forever.
Oh, wow.
I was like, geez, what did I do that was so bad?
And it was, like, I wasn't just banned from going live. I couldn't even log into my account.
Yeah, like the only option, it didn't even give you the appeal option. It was just you log in and your only option is
Download
log
your
out.
information.
Yeah, my account existed. Like when I made my backup account, I could find me and watch my old videos.
Yeah, same
But-
thing happened for me.
Parker gets the weirdest bans. He's like been banned for a year before. I was like, I've never heard of that happening. That's really weird.
It happened to
Wow.
Russ. You know Russ, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he got banned from hosting his own lives until next year on July 8th, if I remember right.
That's fun.
I've only ever been suspended, and I've been suspended like 10 times now. Only 2 of them actually stuck. Every other one has been like approved in less than 5 seconds. I think I found a glitch in their appeal system for like live suspensions.
Tell me what it is, because mine aren't getting appealed.
Oh, it's not if you're a host. It only works if you're a guest.
I've just
If you're a
noticed
guest,
that
they
ever
get
since I got
suspended.
bigger, I never got like any issues. Literally, ever since I've hit like 30,000 followers, I haven't had a live taken down or suspended. I've had videos that have had issues, but every single one has gotten appealed because I've made sure to pick my words carefully. I don't call anyone out specifically. I'm just like, yeah, flat earthers in general are dumb.
So if you're ever a guest on a live and you get suspended for whatever, who cares what pops up is it pops up this like survey thing, like I don't agree, and it gives you a bunch of reasons, right? You just pick whatever 2 or 3 reasons you don't agree for, hit appeal, back out of that, and immediately start a live, like as soon as possible, because you have to do it before it gets past the AI thing. And immediately start a live, and as soon as the countdown finishes, you know that 5-second countdown or whatever, close your live. Don't even let anybody in. Just close your live immediately. And if it works, you'll get an immediate approval back.
I thought it
The
finally
AI,
worked.
it just breaks the AI, and the AI just approves your appeal.
Yeah, I thought the mass reporting finally worked when your live paused. I was like, oh, there it goes.
No. All right, I'm gonna go. Like I've had lives that didn't get shut down in real time, but then later it was like, your live access is suspended. So
Yeah.
maybe they'll take a look at these later. I don't know. I gotta go to bed.
Well, good luck on your ban, man. Hope you get that.
So do I, because damn it, I need that whole conversation. That needs to go on YouTube. It was so, and there's like probably 5 clips I can get for the talking tick here. So, I don't know when the next episode of the podcast is gonna come out. Maybe Thursday. I was gone all weekend, so I didn't have a chance to record one. For weekend, so today.
Oh yeah, I saw the video.
100%
Everyone set security on the
Yeah, it was good fun. All right. Well, go to bed, everybody, except Matt, because he can't. All right. Well,
All right.
Peace.
Thanks for letting me in. Have a good one.
You're welcome.
Everywhere.
I don't care about where it's accepted.
Thing to do.
Okay, you would vote against it if that was a bill.
It would be really dumb.
What if it was $1 million?
Claim.
Volcano eruption on my life.
read to you the meaning of the word in the original language.
Yeah, and that system of government is doing it because they have to stand for something. It's
And
not.
yes, I
it's
still
not-
disagree with it. I think it's morally unethical. I think it's morally
unethical because
you haven't defended
guess
why
what?
it should be
No,
why
it's
it's
not
morally unethical.
It would only be morally unethical if they said no, you cannot come at all. That's morally unethical. It being
Hold on, that
different,
happens to a lot of people. That happens to a lot of people.
but guess what? People still come in though. So if all government said unless
Yes,
you were born here, you
illegally.
can't come to our country. Unless you were born here, you can't come to our country. I would say okay, that's morally unethical. That's wrong. But if you could come here, although it's going to be difficult, and the reason it's difficult because here is a great place to be, I would say, okay,
So we should.
makes
So hold on.
great place
You're
to be.
right. It's great to be here. Why does that mean that we should make it hard for people to experience that greatness? Why the fuck does that make sense?
It makes sense because that great.
Ah, yes. Here, that would be like, ah, yes. I have all of this stuff that will make your life better. I'm going to make it difficult for you.
Yes, because
Why? Why not just make people's lives better?
Oh my God, that's not how.
Wait a
the
minute,
world
hold on.
works.
Are you just against making people's lives better when we can?
No, that's
like,
not because that's not how the world works. That's not how.
Wait a minute, no. Explain
how-
how the world works. Explain how this is a bad thing if we just make people's lives better. Tell me.
That's not how supply and demand works. Do you know how simple
Supply and demand of what? Supply and demand of what?
Of things.
What kind of things? Because the United States has more than enough food, more than enough land to support a larger population.
You can't. Not everybody could have a certain lifestyle because of.
Wait a minute. We have more than enough land, more than enough food, more than enough water.
But you can't all support the same lifestyle. You can't all just come here and everybody become a millionaire overnight.
Yes, that can't happen whether there's immigration or not.
But it's a
that doesn't happen regardless of whether there's immigration.
Why can't it put us on the shoot house fucking 7 times?
Yeah,
How about that, bitch?
Guess what? It's a possibility because of the system of capitalism in America. That's why people want to come here, right?
Yeah, so why can't we give them that possibility?
Because
that's
their own-
27?
because they have a system that has supports in every.
Your argument amounts to they're not allowed to because they're not allowed to.
Yes.
That's your argument, which is a terrible argument. I'm arguing that we should change the system so that they are allowed to, and you haven't provided any sort of justification as to why we shouldn't.
Yeah, I was just showing you she was Chinese.
I just gave you every justification because
Well, the justification you gave me was one,
Nigga, ugly
safety.
people make
I showed
babies.
why that's unreasonable. Two, what was the second one that we talked about? We talked about safety. We talked about we talked about investment. Both of those are bullshit reasons. So come on, let's hear another.
I told you membership. Membership is.
Yeah. Membership is not a justification. This is just an exclusionary principle. No. Your goal with the membership justification is you just want to exclude more people. That's the only justification that you have.
No, it's not about excluding people.
It's literally just about excluding people. Literally just about okay, what's the purpose of exclusive membership if not to exclude people?
It's okay to. I'm not saying it's not wrong to them. It's not wrong to.
So you're okay. So your justification is you just want to be able to exclude people.
It's like going to Sam's Club, right? You get your Sam's Club membership. You pay your little fee to get a Sam's Club, and now you can go and buy whatever you want at Sam's Club.
That's different because Sam's Club offers specific benefits for certain membership features. And so you can say, yes, Sam's Club charges a membership so that they can provide a discount.
Enemies taking Charlie.
That's the purpose of the membership.
Yeah, you come to America and you have the possibility of a better life. That's
Yeah. Except, hold on. Sam's Club wouldn't exist if there wasn't a membership fee because they couldn't sustain a corporate model. The United States would be fine if we didn't, if we had less restrictive borders.
No, actually we would.
Yes, we would. We would be fine.
But it helps maintain the system that they do have. I feel like it really
Maintain
does.
what system?
The system of governance. If everybody was just allowed to just do whatever they like, just get and do whatever they want,
Who said
more
anything about doing whatever they
freedom.
want?
What?
Who said about doing whatever they want? I'm just talking about making it easier to come to the country.
Yeah, everybody can just come into the country, and anybody can just come into your country. Like you're saying, basically, you're not even talking about America. You're talking about all over the world. Get in
Yes.
France, get it here, get it there, get it there.
Yes.
No, because people. If you went to like say for example, you want to go to Kenya, right?
Mm-hmm.
First of all, you're not from there. You're not one of.
You're
their
not from the U.S.
You're not. Yeah, I'm not from the U.S. You're not one of their people, right?
You're not a U.S. person. So
you don't know their culture. You don't know anything. So they have an inherent membership of being from there. They know.
I don't care. I literally don't care.
You wouldn't have ever experienced the same experience of that same climate, that same lifestyle. That you wouldn't have ever experienced. But you feel like you deserve to have the same experience of that land. Have never been to that land. At all.
Humans are all the same. Humans are all the same. We're all people. We shouldn't be forced into a location just because we were born there.
I'm not saying you forced there. I'm saying respect.
You basically are. You can respect a place's culture. When you moved to the United States.
I'm not saying okay, I accept what you.
How old were you when you moved to the United States? If you don't mind me asking?
I was 6, but
okay. So like you, what country did you come from?
Came from Kenya actually.
Okay, cool. So when your family moved to the United States, did you did your family like kind of adapt to American culture, or did you just like keep all of your Kenyan traditions, all of your Kenyan culture? You just like you didn't. I don't know. Actually, this is gonna sound really ignorant. What language is spoken in Kenya? Kenyan?
I don't speak. My story is long. I don't want to tell you my whole life story.
No, that's fine. You don't have to. No. What I'm getting at is that you're able to respect the culture of the place that you moved to while still moving there. If I moved to the Czech Republic, right? That's where I live right now.
Secure Bravo.
It's not like
online.
I'm demanding everybody speak English. It's not like I'm demanding that everybody wave American flags. Like no, like I'm doing my best to assimilate to the culture. This is the thing that people do. But that doesn't mean that that just because I'm American, it doesn't mean that I should be barred from coming here. No, you can move somewhere.
That's what I'm saying.
You can respect the place. You can respect the place and still move there. That's fine. If I move to Kenya, I respect it.
But your whole argument is failing at the point that you still there. Right now, you're right there. You're literally right there. All you have to do is pay some fees and deal with the hard process to get there. But guess what? You end up still being there. Right now, I'm still in America.
Do you know why I'm here? Do you know why it was so it was relatively straightforward for me. Not for my wife, but thank you for the subscription, by the way. It was relatively straightforward for me. Because I was sponsored. I have a job here. My wife had to go back to the United States because her temporary visa expired. She still doesn't have a long-term residence card, even though we've been here for 5 months, and we started this process over a year ago. This is a very hard process, and it's going to continue to be hard and expensive. Why? Because they basically don't want brown people, is what it boils down to. That's why it's hard to get a residence card here.
Friendly cluster mine set.
But that's just, I'm telling you, it's not about, like that's not how the world works though. Like, just politics. And people, there's politics, there's war, there's a lot of things that separate people. There's different cultures, there's different people. So you respect those people by accepting what they are telling you that, okay, you have to do this if you come here. You weren't born there.
Yes, and I think that all humans are equal, and we shouldn't be, nobody should be able to tell me where I want to move on the earth that we all have.
I think you should, because then you just basically
wait, hold on. Why is it that somebody can so I'm a human. I'm allowed
the whole world has a weak government. Everybody, the whole world is just weak in their government.
Wait, what does weakness have to do with anything? Allowing free movement doesn't mean that you can't have laws.
Because if you just allow free movement without because it eliminates nationalism from your
Yes, nationalism is bad.
You think nationalism is bad?
Yes, it's what leads to fascism. So yes, nationalism is bad.
I think extreme nationalism is bad. I don't think nationalism itself is bad.
Maybe you're thinking of patriotism, which is different. Nationalism is thinking that your nation is superior. Patriotism is thinking that your nation is good. Those are different things.
That was okay. I think that people should think that their country is good.
Yeah, that's fine. You can think that your country is good. Or you can have pride in your country. That's what patriotism is. Nationalism. Yeah. Okay. Fine. Yeah, we can agree on that. Patriotism is fine.
Enemy secure
Yeah.
Bravo.
So it kind of eliminates that. Then they should be.
How? Wait, are you patriotic? Do you love America?
Yeah, I like
Okay,
America.
but and you came from another country. It's fine. You can have immigrants who are patriotic.
Yeah, but it undermines the people that were born there.
How?
It undermines them because you're saying we're never here, but we're just as much Czech. You were never born in Czech Republic, but I'm just as much Czech. Whatever.
I never claimed to be a citizen. I'm not even saying that I should be able to claim Czech citizenship or that I should be able to claim like Czech heritage. I'm just saying I should be allowed to be here and to work here.
So you're not. This whole argument had nothing to do with citizenship.
No. I don't care about citizenship, although I think citizenship should be easier to get, at least in the United States. That is a point I should make. Like, if you work in a place for long enough, you should be granted citizenship. But, like, my biggest concern is just let people fucking come here, to the Czech Republic, to America, whatever. Just let people fucking come and work and make their lives better.
Well, I was mainly talking about citizenship. I was saying you can't just let anybody come here, get a citizenship, and get the same benefits of a country because they just claim, oh, I'm a free form, I'm a free floating person in the world, and everybody is a human. Oh,
that would be ideal, yes. But just as a starting policy, yeah, I'm totally fine with just making it easy to get a green card, making it easy to get a visa.
We're losing Alpha.
No, I think it should be moderate. I think being moderate is because you're all the way on the other side of the spectrum. If you're too easy or too hard, it's not good. Right? Being moderate is okay.
Okay, well right now it's way too hard. So you agree that we should loosen restrictions?
I don't think that you should loosen them to the extent that you're saying that
So how much should we loosen them then? Tell me.
I don't know what standards it should be loosened to. Yeah, let's switch topics. I got a whole bunch of stuff that I don't like.
So, I don't want to do this because we've been having a good conversation, but there's 3 people in the box and they've been waiting for a long time. So, since we're going to change topics, I'm going to let you go and have somebody else on. Is that fair?
We're getting hit hard.
Yeah, I want to just talk about the That's what I do.
So how about this? I just sent you a follow. So, give me a follow. I do these somewhat regularly. Next time I do one, you can come on and we can talk about that. Is that fair? All right, I sent you a follow. Thanks for the conversation, by the way. Like I hope you don't think that you're a bad person, or I hope you don't think that I think you're a bad person. Like I don't. I think that like people have different opinions, and I think that we should talk about them. So I do appreciate it. All right, have a good one.
Securing Alpha.
Can you tell us about the Czech Republic? It's a beautiful country.
We're losing
really
Charlie. Objective Bravo is compromised. Get it back. Enemy's taking Charlie.
All right. What are we talking about?
Hi.
Howdy.
Mission complete.
So
Solid
I was
work.
listening your conversations for a while,
Mm-hmm.
and I think I disagree with you very strongly. I think the immigration should be difficult to the point, and we should limit the amount of people entering any country, not only US, but especially countries which have a better status than other countries.
Why?
And I can tell you why. First of all, countries who have better status have a good balance between the resources and amount of people using these resources.
Sure.
Countries who are poor are usually have not many resources, but many people who are competing for these resources. And this
I don't think that, hold
imbalance
on. I have to challenge that because I don't think that's true. like at all. Like that's not actually
It's
that's not
gonna be
true
cold
at all.
outside.
It's different.
The
It's different if you live in
Democratic
that
Republic of the
region
Congo,
and you're
or
used to
sorry,
it,
just
but
Congo in
yeah,
Africa
like,
is one of the most resource-rich countries in the world, and it is also one of the poorest countries in the world. It's the reason why it's not a first world nation is not because it doesn't have resources. It's because the system of government that is implemented there is both not stable and not safe.
I agree. I'm not talking about resources in the ground. I'm not talking about diamonds in the ground. I'm talking about resources available to people, to citizens, like schools, like jobs.
Well, yeah, but those are paid for. Those are paid for with money.
Yeah, but that's the problem. If the system is not working in country X, people want to emigrate from this country and go to the country which works well.
Agreed.
And we need to have immigration limits. We need to make immigration difficult to not reduce this good balance for the cost of all the existing citizens and residents. And I can give you example of America. We have quite a balance of housing, schools, hospitals. These are all
Do we
resources
though?
available. Yes, we do.
So I mean, housing
Compared
is like
to-
there's a housing crisis right now, right? Like most people don't own homes.
Yes. And imagine what will happen if we allow unlimited immigration and suddenly a country with 340 million people will have 1 million of Indians on its borders who will come here.
300.
and-
So that's like less than 0.5%. So it's like nothing.
100 millions.
I thought you said it. I thought you said 1 million.
Yeah, let's say Indian who has no house and there is no prospect of him buying a house. He is working, driving a rickshaw to get people around. He will come to America and he will be competing with everybody for house, for hospitals, for schools. We need to have immigration.
But he'll
limits.
also be paying taxes though.
Not really, because he will be jobless.
Well, wait a minute. So like.
There will be no jobs for him.
Just statistically, immigrants that enter the United States give a net benefit to the citizens that are there, that are already here.
I agree.
Like it's a net benefit.
I agree with you because there are limits.
Well, no. This this doesn't have to do with limits. This is just like every extra person that comes in leads to an increase in wages amongst everybody in the United States except those who dropped out of high school.
Yeah, but these statistics you are quoting are created with limits. You don't have a statistic to show me what would happen if you have unlimited immigration.
Okay, but so we can draw inferences because we don't have data either way. So we can infer that if that the more people we let in, the more benefits we will have. That's a reasonable inference given the statistics and given that we don't have anything.
No, it's completely unreasonable. It's completely unreasonable, and I can explain why. Imagine that we have a system in America which limits immigration, and who do we have preference? Who do we give preference to immigrate to America? People with good education, people with businesses, people with rich families, people with no criminal background. We are sorting people from the crowd of people who want to get into America. We are sorting through a very thin sieve only people who we want, who we think that will benefit to the society. So we have limits. We have like 35,000 people per year from some countries only. Because if we let the flood wars go, we would not keep up with the demand for houses. We will not keep up with the demand for
but
houses.
I don't think that's true. Because it's not just like people come in and consume. They also provide. They pay taxes. They work a job. They provide services. So it's not like it's not just like you add 50 million people who need houses, but you don't have more people building houses. You would increase demand, which means more people would start building houses. right? Like this is how, like, we live in a capitalist country for a reason. This is how supply and demand works. Larger populations are generally lead to more stable countries, more productive economies. Like these are good things. We want
compare
larger
India
populations.
and America.
So I said generally for a reason.
Okay,
Like, of course.
give me another.
So we have every single country in the European Union, right? Like every single country. Like the
Russia
trick
is
here,
more.
the
Russia
trick here
is better than Czech Republic.
No, it's not. The trick here is that if you already
Like
have
Bulgaria
a stable
is better
hold on.
than
Hold
Czech
on.
Republic.
Can you let me finish? The trick here is if you already have a stable government, have a good system of governance, then increased population only benefits. If you don't have a stable government, then increased population isn't going to help, but it's not going to hurt either.
I disagree.
You disagree, but this is how it seems to be.
No. It seems to be this way because every country has limits on immigration, which you are opposing.
Yes, I am opposing to. So like, look. So of course every country has limits on immigration. So there's you can't point to any. You can't make the argument that it's because of those limits that countries are the way they are, right? Because there's no counterexamples.
What do you mean?
So if you wanted to make a comparison, you would have to say, well, this country didn't have limits on immigration, and they turned out like shit, whereas this country did have limits on immigration, and they turned out fine. There's no counterexamples here. So you have to make an argument based off the merit of the ideas. You can't make a statistical-based argument unless you're making the argument that statistically increased immigration does lead to increased wages in the United States. That's something that has been shown, like, statistically.
If you take your example, you have to add qualifiers. Yes, statistically increase immigration gradually with harsh limits and with
Wait a minute. Where did the harsh limits come in?
And with sieve sorting people, because this is how we have example for the last 200 years, then it benefits the population. But if
how do you know that was a requirement for the benefits to arise?
I know because there's a macroeconomy rules which tell you that if you have an influx of people with no limits to enter to the country, you will have a inverse proportional selection of who the people will come to the country. So
okay, name the macroeconomic rule, please.
Well, demand. We were talking about that before. If you have
well, you said that there's a macroeconomic rule. What's
okay? Okay, guys, excuse me. I'm immigrant myself. Okay, so
I'm glad.
Yes. So I know the topic from the side you know it too, and we disagree. We could discuss this very, very nicely. So let me express myself in my not native English language.
Yeah, no.
Okay?
Where are you from, by the way, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm from Poland, a neighbor of
welcome.
Czech. Very neighbor of Czech. So we have similar experiences. You like Czech? I emigrated from Poland because I don't like Eastern Europe. And
when
I
did
like
you move, by the way?
98.
Okay, so I can understand moving in 98. That was relatively shortly after the fall of the USSR, yes? Like maybe 5 years? 6 years?
Yeah, 18 years.
We won that
81
round.
was
now do it again.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of when the Czech Republic became independent. That was 1993.
Yeah. Anyway, what I'm saying is the limits on immigration right now.
Switching sides.
Amount of money you need to come to this country to get the passport, to get a lawyer, to go through the process. Sorts
Hunter
people
1 set security on the objective.
with a sieve, which is very harsh for poor people. Very, very poor people have no chance even to afford a ticket to America, flight ticket. Not even talking about lawyers and everything. So you have a barrier that unwanted people are people who would create burden on the social systems in America will never come to America and will never get the visa. And you could give the example of all the people who try to get the visa from Philippines, from Thailand, from Laos, and all the poor countries. they are being declined meticulously
They've
and
planted
very
at Bravo.
systematically, because these people most likely will create a burden on the society and
Why do you
not
think that?
benefit, because
Why do you think
they
that?
escape poverty.
Be ready for the
So,
next.
lots of people can
They
escape
have
poverty and still
no
benefit society.
education, they have no
So?
education, they have no resources, they will come with
So?
large families, and they
So?
will not create benefit for the society.
Hold on. You made a whole bunch of claims and then said, and they will not create benefit for society.
Search and
That's a claim that you have to
Statistically.
defend.
Statistically.
No. So, okay, so defend it
Hunters, defend the
statistically.
objectives.
Where's the statistics that say they don't benefit society?
How many unskilled labor we need every year?
A lot. We need a lot of unskilled labor.
No. We already have
Friendly bomb
a
drone
lot of
is
people
online.
who are looking for jobs who are unskilled. We need skilled
Hold
labor.
on. Unemployment is at record lows right now. We need more employees.
We need. No.
Wait a minute. Who's going to be the janitors of all of these high skill like office? Who's going to work picking all of the almonds?
We are talking about people who are not going to be janitors. People.
How do you know? Why not?
Because they never work in their lives.
Yes, they do. Almost all immigrants work. The
You are
populations that
again-
are the populations that are least likely to work are native residents.
You are again quoting statistics from
Yeah.
the immigration who is already pre-selected by the strict
No.
rules of-
Like even illegal immigrants are more likely to work than the native population.
And what are the barriers for illegal immigrant to come to this country?
I mean, you risk going to jail.
No.
30 seconds left.
You collected all the family savings to pay the mule to get you to the country, to bribe the border patrol.
Wait, are you saying that all illegal immigrants are rich and are
No,
educated?
they are not rich.
Like,
No, they are not rich. They pass the barrier which many people would not pass if you make the immigration with no
wait,
limit.
so what exactly is your claim here? That it's a good thing to have immigration controls because then even the people who immigrate legally, they will still benefit society because they could generate enough money to cross illegally. Like what?
No. My claim is that a country like America
and destroy.
wants to have a limited
All
influx
hunters,
of
secure a
people
perimeter around
who
the
will
objectives.
be selected for the criteria which, in the eyes of the American people selecting government, will benefit the future of the country. So we want people who don't want to come here. We want lawyers, we want doctors, we want electronic programmers, we want car mechanics, we want plumbers, and we
want plumbers. We want everyone. You realize
No, we don't
no.
want. We
Okay,
don't
name
want
one person. Name one person who we don't want.
We don't want people with criminal background.
Okay, do a background check. That's fine. We can do a background check. I'm okay with that.
We don't want people with chronic and terminal diseases.
Why not? That seems really cruel and unnecessary.
Because they will.
Hold on.
It
America
makes
is the
cruel.
greatest. Yeah. I base my laws off of my moral system.
Yeah, but your moral.
Also, people with chronic diseases would be better off going to Europe than the United States, for what it's worth.
But you asked me for the question, I answered the question.
Yeah, go ahead.
You
Sorry.
disagree with my answer. So I don't think we do want a influx of unskilled labor. I disagree with that.
Why not?
Because we already have unskilled labor coming to this country. Because skilled labor is not wanting to come to this country. Skilled labor, doctors and professors and teachers want to stay in Germany. They want to stay in France. They want to stay in the Great Britain. They don't want to come to America.
I mean, I wonder why.
I will explain why. Because they have good salaries, they have good status in the home country, they have well-off families, they have houses, they have land. they don't need to come to America. America is not giving them anything.
So for what it's worth, like professors and doctors and lawyers make way more money in the United States than they do in any other country in the world.
Okay, but this incentive is not enough for them to be immigrant. To be immigrant, there's a big penalty you pay,
right?
Because you're leaving your family. You have to learn the foreign language. You sever your friends and links with your home country. It's a big penalty to pay. So
I agree.
You need to be in this sweet spot that you have enough money to cross the border, to go through the lawyers, to go through this immigration bullshit, and not enough money to actually be incentivized for crossing this and to going through this. So you need to have the challenge enough in your home country to go, and you need to have resources enough. So you need to show that you are resourceful enough to come, that you will not come to the new country and hand out for the welfare.
This is not what immigrants do. This is just not what immigrants do. Like
exactly,
you can
because
look at
they are sorted. Because they are sorted by the immigration system.
Okay, so you can say that, but you have no justification for that. All of the evidence. No, you don't, because you have no counterexamples. All of the evidence seems to suggest that immigrants work hard, regardless of whether they got here easily or hard or in a hard way. Like that's just the case. Now, interestingly, if you want to have more lawyers and doctors and professors in the United States, the best way to do that is to have a bigger population, and to have a bigger population with diverse backgrounds. And what's one way to do that? Well, let in parents as immigrants, and then their kids will grow up as both. Their kids will grow up with the American education system, and have a high chance of becoming an educated professional. There are so many like Asian immigrants who's, like my wife, for example, her parents immigrated from Cambodia, a very poor country. Like they were refugees during the genocide and all of that. She's going to be a lawyer. So like it was a good thing for the United States to let her parents in, because they're getting a lawyer out of it, right? Like this is a very like this is the best. If you want to get more lawyers, the best way to do it is let more people come into the country, because their kids are going to grow up and be lawyers and doctors and professors.
Wait. We are not discussing about letting more people. Your argument is to take all the barriers and make the immigration free. This is not instead of 35,000, let 40,000. No,
you're right. I want a country filled with lawyers, doctors, and professors. Let's let 2 million people in. Let's let 3 million people in. We'll have so many more lawyers that way.
And you have not working imagination what it would happen.
What would happen? Tell me.
Well, I gave you an example of 100 million Indian people coming and flooding America.
If 100 million people came in 1 year, yeah, that would probably be a problem.
Exactly. So
hold on.
Let me
finish.
just discover your argument is faulty.
Let me finish. It would be a problem temporarily. Give it 5 years and it'd be fine.
No.
Especially if they can't vote, yeah, it'd be fine.
No, it will not be fine.
They would all have to find work. They would all have to find work.
No, because the 100 million will come first year, and 100 million will come second year, and 100 million will come third year.
There's not that many Indians.
Oh, did you check?
There's like 1.3 billion Indian people. You think that like 8% of their population is going to come here? No, that's absurd. Most people like where they live because they have friends and family there.
They like because they cannot go anywhere.
No, most people don't want to leave their friends and family. Like that's just like a truth about humans.
Most people
don't move.
Who are minimally well off don't want to move. Yes, I agree with you, and I was talking about that already. So the limitation is already naturally.
That's fine.
People,
I'm not asking for the United States to pay for the airplane tickets of everybody who wants to move to the U.S. If you can make it to the border, you should be let in.
Okay, so
I'm fine with that.
So you already argued yourself against limitless immigration.
Well, no, I'm fine with limitless immigration. We're just not going to like pay for you to come here.
No. You argued that you would not be happy with 100 million Indians or 100 million Chinese suddenly invaded our borders.
Hold on, don't use politically charged words like invaded. Like they'd be immigrants, and yeah, there'd probably be some like problems because it's a large change in population overnight. But in 5 years, it'd be fine.
What 5 years? How we survive 5 years with 100 million immigrants?
It's not like they're not going to work. It's not like
work how? Work
what do you mean work how?
Where?
If you have 100 million more people, you have 100 million more mouths to feed.
Yeah, and where would you host them even? Where would you put them to sleep?
So, I mean, that's one of the reasons why having 100 million people come overnight would be a problem, because I don't think we have 100 million free houses. But
Exactly.
like, if you have 100 million come over the course of 5 years, it'd be fine.
That's why I'm saying we need to have limits on immigration. You just throw your argument away.
Okay, hold on. This is a logistical problem. This is not an ethical or a moral problem. Like, yes, if we had 100 million people show up at the border tomorrow, it would be a problem. But that's only because there's literally not enough houses.
I'm sorry. You never said that immigration should be limitless as a moral issue.
Yes, no, that is the only reason I care about it.
You know, there are some problems which I am debating, which are quite logically in practical ways as well.
Except you were arguing for, you know, we only want the educated people. This is not a logistical argument. This is a
Well,
like you want to
it
keep
is.
like purity of the American culture or something.
No. I want educated Indian people who will
Why is it
enrich
always Indians?
who will, because they are second largest, if not the largest country in the world, dude.
I think they actually are the largest now. I think you're right.
Right, exactly. That's why I'm using them, because they are one of the poorest and one of the numerous population, and the immigration from China, from India, from Philippines, from Thailand is the most limited ones in the America. We don't limit people from Germany. Almost no
I
way.
mean, yes, because of racism. Basically.
No, not racism. Because
yeah, kinda.
No, we don't even give visa to Germans because we know they are not having incentive to come here for tourist visa 10 days and stay working in McDonald's. That's the problem.
So like to be clear,
It's not
people have to work
racist.
at McDonald's, right? You know that. Like we need
It's
people to
not
work at
racist.
McDonald's.
I'm responding to your racist argument. It's not racism.
No, I mean
It's
like
poor.
the original immigration claims, like the original the immigration laws originally in the United States were based on country of origin, and they still to an extent are, for racist reasons.
What's your block?
I don't know that part of
Like,
the story.
So like,
Why
like
would
quite
you
literally,
claim
well, quite literally, up until the 1960s, there were quotas from brown countries for immigration, but there were no quotas from European countries.
Okay. So maybe
It was the Hart-Celler Act.
Yeah,
And I mean,
but-
and I mean, like in 2016, 2017, Donald Trump tried to limit immigration from majority Islam or Muslim countries. Like, come on, like this is the same kind of thing.
We agree Trump is racist. No problem about that. But I'm saying immigration in general in America currently is not racist. It's based on the financial status of the petitioner. And it's clearly about the financial status.
I mean,
Because
yeah, but like,
I have friends who have a master's degree from China who had no problem getting residence visa. No problem. And I have talked to a waitress in the Chinese buffet who had a nice conversation with me, and she overstayed her tourist visa. So we have two examples, and both are Chinese nationals who could you claim that they are racist, but we select based on the status, the financial status of education, of physically.
You're right. That's probably true. That's probably the majority of it today. I wouldn't be surprised if there was some racist undertones there, especially because typically richer countries tend to be whiter countries. But
Right, it may be overlap.
You could be right about that.
Just because we have overlap of statistics doesn't mean there isn't. Basically.
So, but the point I'm making is that like, it seems like you're wanting tight controls is that you only want a certain class of people to come, but like America doesn't function with just
No.
an upper class, right?
It's
Like
not my-
it doesn't function.
That's not my argument. I said we need limit because we don't want to have a unlimited influx of people, because if we remove the limits, the population which suddenly the spectrum of people who want to come into the country will sort itself way down on the starting spectrum.
I don't think so.
Yes,
why do you think
will
that?
have people who why? Because why do I feel that way? Because people who can work and who can create resources for themselves right now are limited to come to the country by the level of the resources they can collect.
Hold on, they're limited to come to the country because they can't afford a plane ticket, right?
That's the one of the lowest barriers.
So like
the most.
So like you realize that almost everybody in the world, almost every adult in the world, works, right?
Yeah. Do you realize that the month's salary of the waitress in Thailand is $300?
Yeah, because their cost of living is significantly lower.
Right, but the cost of
what does that have to do with anything?
Because the cost of ticket from Bangkok to Chicago is $1,500.
Yeah, so if the only limit we place on is them being able to get here, fine, that's whatever. I'm okay with that.
Okay, so I should probably start my conversation listing that I have several reasons why English should be limited and hard, have some barriers, to not be flawless. And one of them is to limit the influx of people and create the chaos which would create if you suddenly let 100 million Chinese and 100. Second reason is that if all the countries follow your will and remove all the barriers to immigration, and they will be like, oh, you want to be Japanese for 2 years? Please, be my guest, work here and use all the resources. The people will find a way to hop the countries and pick and choose the benefits without costing them anything. Like Czech Republic has free university education for their citizens. Yep. What will stop you to go to the Czech Republic when you are 18 years old, leave Czech Republic when you are 24 years old, get the free education, become a lawyer, and go to America and be tortured?
Well, a Czech lawyer won't be able to practice law in America.
Why?
It's you have to pass the American bar to practice law in America.
Oh, so you are about the limits.
No, the American bar is it's a competency exam, right? Like if you get a law degree in the Czech Republic, you will learn how to be a lawyer for Czech laws. The laws are different in the United States.
Okay. Let me backtrack my argument. Medical degree. Don't tell me that medicine is different in Czech Republic than in America.
It's not, but again, if you get a medical degree in the Czech Republic, at least if you want to work as a doctor in the United States, you still have to pass I think it's the MCATs. There's a medical certification exam. Most professional degrees have certification exams.
Right. And what would stop you from getting this exam passed? Is the anatomy of human different in Czech Republic than in America?
No, you probably pass as long as you speak English.
Exactly.
So
there is no barrier for you to use the benefits of one country and hop between countries because your immigration effort is zero.
I mean, so just going from place to place is still not particularly easy, right? Like as you said, there are plane tickets, of course, but like, yeah, you can put reasonable like safeguards on. You can come to this country for free and go to the university under the stipulation that, you work here for 5 years or something afterwards. That's fine.
Also, I'm
fine
limits.
With that's not a limit on immigration. That's not a limit on immigration.
That's a limit on immigration. You are allowed.
No, it's not. No, because you could still go to the Czech Republic. You just couldn't get the free education if you chose to leave.
But that's a form of immigration.
No, because so okay, let's say let's take this into example. Let's say that I want to move to the Czech Republic to get a free education. I could choose. Let's say I want to move to the Czech Republic. I could choose to pay for my education when I get here. I'm still allowed to pay, but I can still choose to pay when I get here. And then I could leave after I'm done. Or I could stay for 5 years afterwards, and then get the free education. That's a choice, but either way, I'm still allowed into the country.
Wait. My argument is now that you are indirectly putting limits on immigration.
Hold on, that doesn't limit anybody from coming to the country. That limits who can get benefits of like free education.
Yeah, but the benefits should be universal. Then
I mean, they aren't, and they aren't in any country, right? Like,
no,
like
but
tourists
you're
don't get the
saying-
benefits.
Yeah, but you're not talking about tourists. You're
I mean,
talking about.
effectively you are.
No. If you are more than 180 days in one country, you're not a tourist. You're a resident.
I mean, sure, you might be a short-term resident, fine. Do short-term residents get all of the benefits? No. In fact, actually, as evidence of this, you do not get free public health care if you are not a permanent resident of the Czech Republic and you are not employed.
Yeah,
That's just not true.
But,
You just don't get that.
Aren't you voting for unlimited immigration, which would in fact make
What would that
you
have to
a
do with
perma-
healthcare?
Wait! I didn't finish my sentence, man.
Sure.
Unlimited immigration would make you a permanent resident the first day you arrive in this country, and you say you claim
Why
I
not?
want to be a Czech Republic.
Why not?
Yeah, so one, permanent resident is different from
I'd
citizenship.
fired a fucking ladder
I'm fine
rounds underneath
with
the
giving
fucking truck.
residency cards to whatever, and you can change the laws so that you know, you could have some sort of like trial period. You're in the country for 4 years, and then you can unlock your, you know, the benefits of the country, or 2 years, or
Doesn't
whatever.
matter,
It's
it works.
fine. Like you can make it. You can make these laws reasonable.
Friendly UAV on station.
I hear what you're saying, that you want to introduce limitations on immigration.
I want to introduce limitations of benefits.
Right. So
Not
you are
immigration.
trying to, you're creating a class of citizenships now based on where you came from, how long ago you came from, are you born in this country? Aren't they
No.
limits on
So
immigration?
the distinction is that benefits come with certain expectations, right? If you're going to get free education, the expectation is that you will use that free education to benefit the country. So otherwise you are effectively stealing, right? That's why, for example, why we give children free education, like in the United States, we give them free K through 12, because the expectation is that they will then grow up and benefit the United
And
States.
why do you have these expectations?
That's kind of a social contract.
Oh, that was a rhetorical question. I will explain you why. Because there are limits for immigration in other countries. So you know that the child who
It's
is
like 60,
trained for
70,
free
30.
will
yeah,
have
it
a
goes
hard
up to
time to
fucking
become
1,000,
Kenyan
man.
citizen.
What the holy shit,
And
motherfucker.
I think that if an American citizen wants to move to Kenya, they can do so, no problem.
No, don't. That was a figure of speech. Kenya was just used to
right, but the point is
refer to your previous interlocutor to make. Anyway, idea is that a German citizen or Polish citizen or Czech citizen gets a free education, and there is no expectations for them to stay in the country. At least there are not.
No, I mean there's kind of
explicit-
an expectation. Yeah, of course.
There are no
Although
explicit expectations. You could finish
to
your
be clear,
diploma and leave.
to be clear, there, like in the U.S., there are explicit expectations if you want loan forgiveness, for example. If you get an education degree in the United States at some universities, they will forgive your they will forgive your education loans, your like college loans, so long as you work.
Right now.
No. This is
I'm
exactly the
talking
kind of.
about.
Hold on.
Yeah.
This is exactly the kind of system that I'm talking about, where you can have free education so long as you provide a benefit to the system.
Yeah, but I think you are a little bit dishonest in this conversation, because I made a specific claim that if you have unlimited immigration, people from the country where they pay for study
For real,
can go
I'm
and
just
hop to the
asking a
country where
question.
there's free
What is,
education
because I
just
know
to
the
get this
actual
benefit
answer.
and come
What
back
is
to
the
the
answer?
to practice the job.
Yeah, so
That was my
people could
claim.
do that. People could do
Saber
that, and
one.
you're right.
Check
That would be a
security on the
problem if no other changes were added in addition to the issue to changing the immigration system. And obviously, I'm not suggesting that we just change nothing and then open the borders. Like, I'm a socialist too. I think that free education should be everywhere, so that wouldn't be a problem in my system, right? It might be a problem in your system where you have countries like the United States that for some reason don't offer free university education, which is ridiculous, but
yes, I
whatever.
am.
So like, yes, you'd have to make some additional changes to make sure that the system makes sense and is sustainable, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't work.
Well, I disagree with you that free education.
Hold on, but it does work.
Positive.
It does work. Like, look at the
Okay,
EU,
firefight,
right?
left side.
Every country in the EU, almost every country in the many countries in the EU have free university education. They also have free travel between countries in the EU. So for example, if I was a Czech citizen, and let's take a better example. Let's say I'm French, and I want to move to the Czech Republic and get my free education. Then I can just move back to France immediately
Bro, look
afterwards.
at this man's name, dude. What the fucking hell we got going on?
Squad
in this
chat.
motherfucker?
Hold on.
Right?
How
Like
long,
there's
how
no
long do you live in Czech
Search and
Republic?
destroy.
5 months. I'll be here for another 2 years or maybe 2.5 years.
Okay, so you're
Saber,
talking
defend the
to a
objectives.
person who grew up in Europe. I live 28 years in Poland, and I know that education, university education, which is unpaid, is unfortunately devaluated compared to the countries where university you have to pay for.
I mean,
Because
that
what
might be
will
true.
happen? What will happen if you have no barrier to go to the university? You will have people sorting themselves out for no benefits. I don't need benefits from the university. I will just go there to have 4 years of good time. And we have problem with a lot of people having arts degrees,
Cop
social
car,
studies
midway,
degrees,
left side.
and they are jobless.
There it is.
They are making restaurants. They are selling carrots on the fresh
Dude,
market.
I
with
was fucking up.
university
That was
degrees.
more than I was running up like fucking John Wick up in
different
there, so I
topic.
tell the guy
Free
from
education
behind, I
is
was like,
beneficial because there are a lot of smart people who
It
have
came
no
from
money,
behind.
and we
Search and
try to
destroy.
overcome it by
you like it from behind,
stipendiums. I don't know what's the name
don't
of
do
All
that
Saber.
in
Secure the
America.
perimeter around the objectives.
But there are some grants
Hostile
for
UAV in the
students
area.
who have.
So, by the way, just as an interesting side note, the people who have arts and humanities degrees in Europe, or the people who got arts and humanities degrees in Europe in 2022, make up 11% of the population.
What does it mean?
Well, it means that it's not as big a problem as you think it is. It's not like everybody's going to go get a humanities degree or a social science degree or whatever, and then just like partying. Like it's like barely more than 1 in 10.
Yeah, I think 11%. It's
Got me.
huge.
The
How many
majority,
percent?
so
How percent?
22%
How
get
percent?
degrees in business, administration, and law. Even more, or
Are we talking-
what? 16% get engineering degrees. More people get engineering degrees than get like humanities degrees.
Are we talking about the percentage of all university degrees, or we are talking
Is
about
the-
percent of population?
This is percent of graduates in 2020.
Oh, graduates. Okay. I misunderstood you at the beginning that 11% of population.
No, it's percent of graduates.
It is, bro.
Yeah, because they are useless. They don't give you any
Yeah,
job.
so why bring it up as a problem? It's not a
Damn,
problem,
I got
clearly.
Because this
platinum on my right,
11
my knife, and that's it.
cost the country,
Right.
and they don't provide any benefits from this university.
Yeah.
They-
Hold on. I think having people study arts and humanities is worthwhile. Like, we need
Yeah, and
authors, we
then-
need artists.
and then
Saber,
doing
partner charge on the
kebabs
target and level it.
on the street of the
Not
city.
everybody can be a
secured
successful
the
artist,
bomb.
but you can bet your ass that almost every famous actor, every famous artist has a degree in art or a degree in acting.
Oh, I don't agree. But anyway, we are diverging from the immigration topic. So I think we can agree that we need limits to prevent influx, to not create chaos. And you stated that
Not
100
create what?
million
Oh, chaos.
people, 100 million people would create chaos if they came in 1 year. You agree with that?
If they came in one, sure.
Okay.
And
there is
that's
no.
fine. I don't
and
think that we need to
100 million
legally stop. I don't think that we need to implement a law that says. I think that if the only restriction was plane tickets, that would be enough to stop 100 million people from coming here.
Probably agree with you, but 100
So
million.
that's fine.
But 100 million is not a real number. You understand that that's a figure of speech.
I understand.
It's
5
designed
million
to
would be
scare
fine.
us.
If we had 5 million people, in fact, I think the United States gets like 2 or 3 million immigrants.
Go play you some Apex Legends.
So like this is like a few million immigrants is totally
yeah,
fine.
I got Apex, I got Overwatch. I got
8 million
Overwatch,
immigrants is totally fine.
Yeah, but we are guessing
This is
right now.
this is
Right?
shit.
You never made
Some CS:GO,
simulations.
dude. There's
What
this game
would
on
happen
PC I
if we
fucking
have
love
additional
playing.
2
It's called
million of immigrants suddenly every year?
No, but the United States is quite adaptable, and it's 2 million people is not very many as far as the population goes. It's less than 1%.
We have the device.
You know, you could take example of what happens to Poland right now with immigration from Ukraine during the war. And this is not a good comparison because that's a crisis, that's a humanity crisis. But the influx of immigrants is so huge that local cities have nowhere to put people. The schools have no tables for kids. And local cities are desperate to move the immigrants farther west. So if you are voting for unlimited immigration, you will have what happened to Poland during the war with Ukraine times 10, times 100.
Nice.
A chaos. So you agree with me, I hope, at this point, that some limits should be implemented
Yo, y'all
for
guys chill out with
number.
the grenades, man.
And if we create limits
they
on
like the
numbers,
grenades too much.
we could be free
For
to
real,
say
man.
that we
I'm
don't
gonna
want
drop some grenades
people
at you some bitches.
who are certain sort of
Bring
people,
it.
like criminals, like people with
I'm fine with criminal
violent
background checks.
past.
That's fine.
Yeah.
All Saber,
Yeah. So
plant a charge on the target and level it.
again, you are creating limits on immigration.
Bomb secure.
And why the limit of a background check is okay with you if you are
Because
voting for
look.
immigration, no limit immigration based on morality?
So, like, despite what you may think, I have a nuanced take, and I like to think that my takes are based off of what would make people the best off. So yes, generally, I think that unrestricted immigration, with a few exceptions, of course, would make people better off, would make people have less, or would make people's lives better. And yes, letting criminals into a country generally ill-advisable. So I'm against that. It's not a black and white thing for me. We can have
but not the one by the
reasonable
bomb.
restrictions,
Further
like
back.
murderers are not allowed in. That's fine with me.
Really? So
Yes.
I think you are not a moral person.
We're planting at Alpha.
Okay, that's interesting.
Because a murderer who finished his jail sentence should be.
Hold on, who said anything about finished his jail sentence?
Well, you're talking background check. So you're talking
Yeah.
about people roaming free and jumping into airplane. I don't think he escaped the jail. You're talking about
okay.
people
Well, in
who
that case,
escaped.
if they're rehabilitated, I'm fine with it.
Oh, a background check is not talking about that. Sorry.
Listen here, you little motherfuckers.
If someone is
Y'all
a
got
wanted
lucky.
criminal, I don't want them coming in.
But the problem is that right now, if you are a criminal,
Yeah, you better
and
shut
get
your
background
mouth down
check
there with
blemish,
3 and
you
7.
will not get a
Shut your fucking mouth. You
Right.
son of
So, but you 2
I'm
minutes
gonna
ago
put
you
a
agreed
fucking
that
laser
background
gun
check
top of your
should be
head.
implemented as a
Yeah,
limited
the
for
point
immigration.
I was getting at is like, yes, we don't want wanted criminals entering the country.
Okay, you made this argument twisted. Anyway.
Sorry.
Anyway, so 3 limits I see, which are necessary and should be mandatory for immigration to all well-off countries, like Western Europe countries, America, Japan, Australia, New Zealand, all the countries which worked hard for hundreds of years to create benefits and to limit the parasitic elements
Worked
out
hard.
of the society. Work harder, right, or still stronger from other countries like Great Britain or France, from colonies. And right now, they have a better system which attracts people from worse countries. So they have to have a limit for at least 3 limits. One, because we don't want criminals, right? Second,
Yes,
we
I don't want wanted criminals. That's true.
No. We don't want criminals because statistically, criminals are bad influx of people. Yes,
If they've been
your
rehabilitated,
good
I'm
heart,
fine.
your good heart and your moral stance wants to disagree with that, but unfortunately, you are talking about statistics. Not every child going to
For
school
them
will be a
poor.
professor, but you still
course not.
vote for free education.
Yeah.
So you
Yep.
have to agree that people do background checks when you fill up job application for a good reason, because statistically,
Hold on. Jobs are
people.
different from immigration.
Yeah, but the limits are for background checks for the same reason. Because statistically, a
I mean,
person
I don't know about that.
who visited prison 3 times in his life is statistically more likely to visit the prison 4 times.
That might be true in the United States. I'm not sure if that's true everywhere else.
Doesn't matter. We don't know the data, so we could claim that background checks are made to apply for a job, to apply to the citizenship to the country for a reason which are quite similar to the reasons you give free education to people. Statistically, it's good for the country to give free education to children, and equally statistically is it good for the country to limit criminals to enter the country. So I see 3 reasons to summarize my time here. 3 reasons: criminals, influx of too many people at the same time, and 3, country hopping, to pick and choose benefits from one country and not pay your fair share in your home country.
All right. So I appreciate the summary. I'm gonna let you go because I have to go. I have to work.
Sure.
So thank you for being here.
You should have known better.
Planting mine!
We have taken the lead. We've lost the lead. We've secured the lead.
He also says in Deuteronomy 22, verses 28 through 29, if a man happens to meet a virgin to be married, and are we
criticizing the things that he himself has said?
Okay, are you need to change your thing from debate to I need to hear exactly what I think on the stance, not I'm asking other people's opinion on the stance.
Joe, so let's talk about that actually. So Joe, can you tell me exactly the 3 points on human trafficking by Romanian law that Carbon explained to you?
I'm talking about a case of
No,
law
I
here.
asked you a very direct question. I'm sorry. I don't know. I asked you a very direct question. I'm sorry.
I want to talk to you.
Okay, well, that's sad for you. But anyhow,
No,
can
it's
you answer
not.
the very direct question? Maybe you can't answer it. Maybe that's the problem. The very direct
No,
question I'm
because I've
asking
already
you.
stated that I'm not yay or nay here. I'm not trying to fight for him or against him.
I asked you a
just
very
telling you my
specific question. So if you don't have the conversation, then why are you bringing it up?
I already stated that my definition of human trafficking is buying
Your
and selling.
definition is irrelevant. Your definition does
is
not.
irrelevant to me.
Romanian law's definition is where he's being tried.
Romanian
How
law.
is that
Well,
relevant?
Guess
All
what,
right,
bro?
so I'm just gonna say this: if we
I
were to
don't
go
live in
based off,
Romania.
Joe, if we were to go based off your standard for human trafficking, we would have
You
to
mean my
release a whole
opinion?
bunch of human trafficking. We would have to. Oh shit! Sorry, that was my.
This is my opinion.
So we would have to release a whole bunch of human traffickers out of prison and let them back on the streets because of your definition.
Set them free.
Wow.
Okay. So you just support human traffickers. I don't know how else to take it.
I don't
support your definition.
It's not my definition. It's
That
not
is
our
the definition of human traffickers, not only by American standards but international standards. Basically, every country. You're not gonna find a country where that's like so. Like, what this just sounds to me like is that you have done this thing, and now you're just like trying to defend yourself. I'm not saying that you did that, but this is
If you
like this
think
is
I
very
have the
fucking weird. Like
ability-
if like imagine if I did this for anything else. Imagine if I said, well, oh okay, well, it's not rape if like she consented while she was fully drunk. That's not my definition of rape. And I just said that. It would sound like I did that shit in the past.
No. Actually, dude, you can accuse me of whatever you want. If you think I have the
No, I'm not
fucking
accusing
money,
you. I'm saying it sounds
you
like
just
that.
did. You literally just implied that I have done this before, so don't take your word back. And if you want to imply that, you can. And if you think I somehow have the monetary and resources to get people from Romania across the world, go for it. I'm not.
No,
I'm
what
not,
would you hear? Like if I said that I don't agree with the definition of R word, right, with rape, if it means that the woman was blacked out drunk, that's just your definition. I don't agree. You would be suspicious.
You don't have to agree with me here. I've never once claimed fact. I've claimed opinion.
Okay. Then
Well, I'm just citing facts, so I don't know.
Yeah, and I never said you were wrong. I never tried to sit here and say, unlike you guys, I'm just talking about my
So what's the
opinion.
counter argument? We're supposed to be debating here.
This is
No, I'm trying to debate, and you're sitting here telling me how wrong I am. I'm just
This
sharing
is
my
not about your
opinion
feelings.
on a court.
This is not about your feelings. This is about facts.
Okay,
not
so you
your
just
feelings.
It's not
feel
about
like
your
that's the
feelings,
wrong.
dude. We can get really into
Okay,
that.
heard. I got you. So you just feel like that's the wrong definition of human trafficking.
No, I just feel like anybody that's going by a lawyer, a literally court standard. I'm talking about the court standard. And I've already said, if there's evidence like you're saying, then he'll be caught and he'll be tried. And then I'll say, yeah, that guy damn sure did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
So anyhow, great.
man.
Yeah, your feelings aren't what we're talking about. We're talking about actual facts, and not.
Yeah,
feelings.
my
man,
thing is,
not
I'm
at
saying
all.
I don't see enough facts to say he did it yet.
We've actually told you if you saw these facts by the law, would you accept?
I'm not
that?
going
And
to
you
take
said-
your
and you
word
said,
for fact.
It's not my
That's second
word.
opinion.
It's not my
That's
word.
your word. I haven't seen this fact. I haven't seen this. I haven't seen this shit.
We
So right
tried
now,
to offer it
your
to you,
word
but
for
we tried to offer it to you, but for some reason you're either too.
You've
sick
tried to
or too
offer me your
resistant.
word that I would have to
Not
then
my
take as
word.
fact.
I didn't say it. Andrew Tate said it. That wasn't my word.
According to you, I
not
did
according
not
to
see
me.
this.
Okay,
so I
great.
would be taking this fact as your word, which is wrong for me.
No, you lack the intellectual conversation. The intellect to have the conversation.
No.
You're
I
just
take
not
my
smart
word
enough.
over.
You're
I take
just
my
not
own
smart enough for the
information
conversation.
that I find as more important
Nah,
than
you're
secondhand
just not smart
information
enough
people
for the
tell me.
conversation. I don't care. That's great.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying I haven't seen it, dude.
We're trying to show
I'm-
it to you, but you don't care. You're being willfully obtuse. You were trying to show you.
Friendly UAV on
Run on your
station.
shoes. Run away. We're literally trying to offer the evidence. What the fuck? If we show you the evidence, will you believe it? No. I won't believe it.
Two pussy trader.
Okay.
Bro, been mad since the beginning.
God. And yes, jump scare. Whoever said that. So how y'all doing today? While we're waiting for Carver to get back here, are y'all over on Twitch? Because if you're not, why not? Give her
Emails are hit
please
markers,
follow over there. That'd be great. What's the number today? What's the number we're currently at?
Well, actually, we got like a pretty good. We had 1511 followers at the beginning of the stream, and now we're at 1533.
Can we get that to 1550? Because that's a good number. I mean, you agree it's a better number, right?
I think 1550 is a better number.
What are you doing?
My mom got me this ukulele a long time ago. I never learned how to play it, but I think I'm gonna learn how to play it tonight.
Oh, tonight? You don't have to.
Not on TikTok. I'll probably do it.
It's giving wedding singer vibe. Do you remember wedding singer with the ukulele? No, I'm just going. I'm too old. How dare you? How dare you?
Apparently, I'm ageist. So.
Well, you're ageist. You're culturally appropriating gays. Yeah. The list continues.
It's
How many people? Give me a green heart in the comments if you are on Twitch but you did not yet follow Carbon Says. Have the green heart because I need to ask you then why you haven't. Or you can just skip the green heart and go right and follow. That'd make me so much happier. I would love that.
Yeah, check out the poll, y'all.
Right
Shout out to my new followers over here, Barbie Slayer. Shout out to Nail. Shout out to C. Shout out to Sith Pain. Shout out to Delta Boy. Shout out to Harry Laws. Thank you guys for following Twitch. I appreciate you guys. Love you, love you, love you. All right, let's get in the next guest request. We got Brendan McCullough. So let's see what we got over here. Brendan,
Hey, y'all,
you're
how you
live.
How's it
What's
going?
up? How you doing?
Good. Yeah, let's just change the topic just to kind of get back on track. Why do you if we're talking about vaccines, I'm assuming you're talking about a COVID vaccine.
Mm-hmm.
How do you think that's
Overwhelming amount of body of scientific evidence showing that it's effective at reducing death, hospitalization rates, and severe sickness.
Well, so when you get the vaccine, you get sick.
Okay. Yeah, that's not true. I got the vaccine and I did not get sick.
I did.
Okay, so we would say that some people get sick when they get the vaccine, like headaches, nausea, and all that, and some people don't, right?
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Okay, and we agree that when somebody gets COVID, some people die and some people don't, right?
I mean, yeah, there was an argument I had with someone I worked with that because I did get COVID after I got the vaccine. So that basically, if you get a vaccine, you're not supposed to get something like smallpox.
So, all right, so yeah, we can address that. So some people who get the vaccine are still gonna get COVID. They're still gonna die from COVID. Some people who don't get the vaccine when they get COVID, they're still gonna die. So all these things are true, right? Like they happen. Like obviously it's gonna happen across the spectrum of millions of people. That's not the argument that we're having. The argument is not whether it's 100% effective or 0% effective. It's that would you rather be in one box or the other? And to answer that question, scientists have answered that. You are much more likely to die, to be hospitalized, to have long-term health complications, and to be severely ill if you get COVID and you are not vaccinated versus if you are vaccinated. That is absolutely true.
So you're saying well, because I did get the vaccine. I got the J&J vaccine, which I know is probably the worst one.
He wasn't at the tech.
But I got COVID. So because I got the vaccine, COVID it didn't hurt me as much as it normally would have if I didn't have any vaccine.
And Brendan, how long after the vaccine did you get COVID?
About 4 months.
Yeah. Unfortunately with J&J, we didn't know that in the beginning, that the efficacy was not nearly as strong with Johnson & Johnson as it was with Moderna and Pfizer. Moderna and Pfizer lasted significantly longer before needing boosting, and then of course Johnson & Johnson was ultimately phased out as an abundance of caution, and as the mRNA, words are hard, vaccines were significantly more effective.
Nope.
Well, and I did do a rapid test, and I actually didn't test positive, but I definitely got strep throat. Like that.
Oh yeah.
Two people I lived with got it, and everyone I worked with, and I worked with the people I lived with, they all got it. So I just called my boss one morning. I was like, "Hey, look, I've got strep throat," and I would have been willing to go into work, and he just goes, "No," and then we shut the restaurant down, just for that one day. Just because he said, don't come into work. One of the other owners' sons is immunocompromised, so it was reasonable. Like I wasn't trying to like call out of work, but I clearly had strep throat. I had mono when I was a kid too. I know what strep throat is.
That sucks too.
Yeah, that's definitely not COVID. Staphylococcus is
so
like a type of bacteria. So
my roommate's boyfriend, who stays there all the time, he gave me the quick test, and he took it, and I'm standing there next to him.
Yep.
And he tested positive, but I didn't.
Yeah, there you go.
Like, if we're that close, shouldn't I have had it? But I didn't test positive.
Sometimes not. It's not 100%. Nothing's 100%.
Also depends which variant, because different variants affected different people differently.
Variant depends on the angle at which they might have been talking. Yeah. It depends on whether it even got past your like fucking tongue, like, or got into your nostrils and like your nasal cavity. It depends on all those things.
Okay, well, I just don't see how it's. I don't see how the vaccine is effective, because you can still get it and you can still give it to people.
So the whole point of the vaccine
is not how a
vaccine
works, though.
That is how a vaccine works. The whole point, like, what is the vaccine fighting if you don't get COVID? Like, if the COVID never enters your nostrils, then why would you need the vaccine? Because it doesn't like, if you don't want if you don't want to get COVID at the beginning, then just like social distance or don't go near people or wear like a high quality mask. The vaccine is on the basis that you do get COVID, and therefore your body is able to fight this thing off with like the already immune system, like the immune response that it gives you. So I don't know why people keep saying like you still get it. Yeah, you can still get it, but your body fights it off after you get it much more effectively than compared to people who don't get vaccinated.
Right, but if you get a smallpox vaccine, you don't get smallpox.
Yeah, you do. You just don't get the side effects, and your body fights it off a lot better. So if you get exposed to smallpox, There's not like you being vaccinated doesn't put a force field around your body. It still goes into your system. Your body then detects it, and it sends that immune response that was created as a result of you getting the vaccine to fight it off. Therefore, you're not getting the symptoms. And some people do get the symptoms. No vaccine is 100% effective. But yeah, you do get everything. Like you can still get the symptoms just because you've been vaccinated. That's the whole point of being vaccinated, is you getting it.
Alright, well, I guess I can't disagree there.
Lost that round.
But,
Get ready for the next one.
I mean, you're obviously set in one way, so me saying anything really isn't going to tell you anything.
Dookie water.
I mean, if you can keep a counter argument, you can accept it. It's not logical.
I mean, it's not logical because, so when it first started happening, everyone said,
Dookie water.
oh, you have to get it. You're not being a normal human being because you're going to be able to give it to other people. But you still could. And people got mad at everyone. So I locked down my own house by myself for 3 months when it happened. I didn't go anywhere unless I absolutely had to. I did every precaution that I could before I got the vaccine, before it was even available or even created, that I just stayed in my house. I just went to the grocery store when I had to, and that's it. So I did do that part for it. But the only reason I got it is because I had a job and they required it. So I got the J&J vaccine.
Look, it's clear that you know, you may not, it doesn't sound like you necessarily want to give the vaccine again, but if you ever decide to, obviously you know that the mRNA technology is significantly different. The efficacy is much better, because right now, I mean, the current variant is not great. The Omicron was a little bit more contagious, but not as severe with the symptoms. I'm blanking on the name of the one currently.
1 minute remaining.
I'm blanking on it. But the issues are a little bit more severe, and we still have 500 people a day dying from it. So it's not great, but that would be your best chance of protection, in addition to what you already said you were doing previously, social distancing as appropriate, and wearing a mask in places that make sense where they're more crowded. Also, depending on your numbers of what the cases are like in your area. And it's a lot different now how we have to look at all the pieces to make our own decisions about things.
Yep.
Right. So when I got it, I think I got the Omicron when I was in Utah, and it was like one of the top 3 places in the country that was spreading that the Omicron version of that.
Roughly when was that? Do you remember?
I think it was 2021, or it was last winter, so 2022, or 2021.
10 seconds remaining.
Winter 2021. That I don't think it would have been Omicron yet. I think that was still Delta.
Summer 2021 was the Delta variant.
The round is
And
lost.
towards the
Focus
end
on
of
the next one.
December, late October, December, heading into January, that's when Omicron.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, that's
Wow.
Omicron.
That's when I got that strep throat, and it really wasn't that awful for me. It was just I could have worked, but my boss just said stay home.
Strep isn't COVID. Did you test positive for COVID or strep or what?
You have secured the bomb.
No, I took a rapid test, but I wasn't tested positive. But I just told my boss I had strep, and he just said stay home.
Oh, so you had strep and not COVID then?
I mean,
You
probably.
didn't get COVID.
No,
I mean, yeah.
You said,
the
at
antigen
the beginning
test
you
would
said
pick
you got vaccinated, but now you're saying it wasn't COVID, it was strep.
You got strep throat.
So strep is, if I'm not mistaken, strep is staphylococcus, right?
Yeah, it is. Very different. Very different, because I've had strep multiple
maybe I
times.
never got it, and then I got the vaccine, and I never got it. I did get sick, but it wasn't like violently ill or anything.
It sounds like you didn't get COVID though. It sounds like you got strep, so the vaccine did a great job, even though it was Johnson & Johnson. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I guess you're probably not wrong.
Because that's I mean, if you took that rapid test, that definitely, because the rapid ones are very
Yeah,
sensitive.
this is why
that
we
would- that would
don't.
have
This,
picked up.
yeah, this is definitely why we don't stick to like anecdotal, because like there's so many variations. Like we would rather stick to a study that has somebody who has confirmed COVID-19 and they have been confirmed to have this many doses of this vaccine, and we can get that over a larger population, and then look at the differences between how likely somebody is to die, how likely somebody is to get hospitalized, versus being like severe symptoms, like what kind of symptoms does somebody who is unvaccinated versus somebody who is vaccinated. Let's follow up with them 18 months later, look at their health then, long after they've gotten COVID, and see what they look like. Those are like that's what I like to look at, right? When we look at like anecdotal, it's just so hard to get it because like an individual like you, because like none of us are like medical experts, right? So we can't really like look at like the intricacies of what exactly is going on in our body. Like a doctor would be able to tell you, but if you're just kind of like, oh, the vibes were there, like, you know, like that doesn't tell us much. That's why I don't like anecdotal when it comes to like scientific topics like biology.
The 12 people that I worked with all got it, but I didn't. If they all got vaccinated.
Yeah, that would just be anecdotal, right?
I mean, yeah, I would agree with that.
Because that doesn't tell me about all the people who did not get vaccinated who were around you
No,
that
they
also got it.
Vaccinated, and they all got it. I just didn't test positive. I potentially could have taken the. I could have potentially taken the test wrong. Who knows? But my roommate's boyfriend took the test while he had free tests at his job, and he gave me one. He knocks on my door and goes, "Hey, let me give you this test." And he tested positive, and I tested negative. And we were next to each other all the time.
It sounds like the vaccine worked. I mean, honestly, it sounds like you got strep.
The thing is he got vaccinated as well, and so did his girlfriend, and so did everyone else I lived with.
You
so
can't get it.
Sound like it worked, because if he got it, he got vaccinated. Like, my boss told them that they had to get an Airbnb for a week because they didn't want to get a kitchen manager. And they said, beat it. I don't want our kitchen manager to get sick, so we can't run the restaurant. I was right next to him the entire time.
Is your name slanging taquitos? It sounds like you eating taquitos.
We just expand all these experiences. So like you have your own individual experiences.
Slanging shit,
So if we expand all
bitch,
people's individual experiences, like over a large group of people, thousands and thousands and thousands of people, and then we can do the one. And then we look at the people where it's confirmed to be the case, like they're not lying about having been vaccinated, or they're not lying about having caught or not caught COVID-19. We confirm all these cases. We start to see a very clear pattern between the vaccinated and unvaccinated.
So, did you get vaccinated?
I'm military, yes.
Okay, so you had to.
Mm-hmm.
What branch are you?
I got my booster willingly though through a private company, Army.
Army. Well, thank you for your service, by the way.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, that what you guys do means a lot to me. But I don't know. That's just my personal experience. Like, there could be many other people that have different experiences.
Brendan, I have a question.
What's up?
You said that like
Everyone
your
had their back
roommate's
away from the
boyfriend
line.
gave you the test.
Keep
And then you mentioned his
Covered.
girlfriend.
Nah, it's super cheap, bro.
I'm confused as to your story.
So I live with two girls that I lived with, and then her boyfriend would stay over occasionally. So she lived in the room next to me.
You said your guy roommate. And you said his girlfriend, his boyfriend.
Maybe you just misunderstood. I had two girls.
What did you
measure with your Peter?
I'm sorry, what?
I'm asking Tish
Like
and Carbon.
3 inches up here.
That's what I thought too, but I don't remember. I'm not sure.
I'm
thought
not
I heard
sniping
that,
on
but
this one.
I don't remember now.
Like I said,
My
I don't really
F-tag.
listen to anecdotes.
But I'm just saying it's inconsistent. That's all. I like picking up on it.
No, so I live with two girls, and one of the girls I live with, her boyfriend, came over. He gave me a rapid test because he got him for free for work, and I tested after I got strep, and we all tested at the same time, and he was the only one that tested positive. She didn't even test positive, and we were all vaccinated.
Oh yeah. Hella. In their spawn.
So she tested positive.
Where did that rocket
No,
come
she
from?
tested negative. He tested positive.
Okay.
I mean, he didn't live there, but I mean, he would come
Why
over
would they
all
kill
the
their
time,
KD with
obviously,
that low
boyfriend
fucking-
thing, but like, but still, I mean, that's
All right. Yeah, 1v2.
right. Like, if I didn't
I
get
died
it,
on
I
that,
didn't get sick
but,
from it. I got a vaccination.
That was a
sure. You know
You
what?
said you also said everybody in your house tested positive.
Yeah,
I'm
you
just
hit him up top.
confused.
Everyone in my house tested positive.
So
I
how was
didn't
she
test
negative, babe?
What?
So how was she negative, babe?
How was I?
How was she negative?
I don't know. That's what's going on
But you
right
just
now.
said everybody in your
Now
house.
I'm
How?
Focus on the next one.
You literally. Yeah, it's changing.
No, I didn't change anything.
So you did actually, because you did say that everyone in the house was positive, but now you're saying that that only the boyfriend had it, and then you said
Yes, that
everyone
one
like
guy.
a second later.
You're 5-0.
Well,
Sure.
we all got time off work because we all just said we had it because I work with 5 other people that had it, and we just shut the whole restaurant down.
I'm just confused with the consistency.
Yo,
Also, like I said, when you joined the conversation,
You said you lived with like 4. You said you lived with 4 people. How? This is.
Dude.
2.
Dude, no,
2
that
people.
not Alex guy.
Oh, but you just said 5.
No.
No, I said 5 people that I work with.
You said you lived with all 5 of them.
No, I said 5 people I work with got it at least.
Bro,
Never, you know,
no
you guys
way.
aren't even listening to what
No
I'm saying.
fucking
No,
way.
I was listening, and that's the reason I
Well, I
questioned
just
from the
don't listen
beginning.
in general. I don't listen to like anecdotes. But
Well,
that's-
yeah, he's not really.
So I wouldn't have noticed the inconsistency.
That's why. I mean, I know from
No,
the
it's
very
like because
beginning.
when.
We
Sorry,
all know
sir.
from the beginning that you said you first came in here said that you got vaccinated, but you still got COVID, but then that changed the step. This is not COVID, and now the number of people. That's why there have been inconsistencies as far from the very beginning when you came in here announcing that you got COVID after the vaccine. That was your first entry point. I'm like, okay, let's talk about that because of course you still can get it, but it turned out to not even be COVID. You said you tested negative for it, so you didn't get COVID.
Well, I also
It's been a roller coaster.
I also could have done the testing correctly.
How? If the person did the test for you.
No, I did it for myself.
Oh my gosh! So he didn't go to your door and told you come
He
and
he
do
did,
it.
he gave me a rapid
do it
test.
for you?
He didn't.
Okay,
stick
so
the
here's the
tip
thing,
up.
you know, like Bradley, this is why I do it because like, they're gonna come up and lie and make stories, and this is why I question it.
This isn't a
because they
fucking
lie.
lie for a story.
It is a lie, honey. You're trying to push anti-vax rhetoric, and you don't have any like, real evidence, so you're pushing anecdotal fake evidence.
Literally,
When you've given evidence,
yeah.
with what kind of evidence?
I mean,
Almost everyone I worked with got it.
But
Okay.
you said you got it too, though. That's the problem. That's where I have an issue. You said you got COVID.
Okay,
and then
well,
you didn't.
it seems like I got it. Maybe the test didn't work out correctly. Maybe,
But that's not what you said.
I
You
don't.
completely misrepresented the story. You came in here saying that you got COVID because that vaccine
Bastion,
didn't
what's
work.
up with these fucking
But
bodies?
you didn't get.
Why are they
Bastion
sad?
always has
So
fucking
how did I
sweaty
get
ass
strep
fucking
throat?
shit.
The same
Yeah,
way
I'm
you
not
always
like
strep
later.
throat. It's a different vibe.
I thought you should
Oh
have.
my
You
goodness.
get strep
I'm
throat,
not
it's
playing
like
this
a
out.
bacteria.
I ain't
Okay.
playing with this
Not
sweaty
Yeah,
fucking cheater.
bacteria, right?
Did you also want to talk to you about the mono and stress?
One's in their spawn. Turn around.
I
Turn
don't
around.
That's too easy. That's too easy.
So
Oh yeah, this is exactly how.
How many people in your house got it?
Water. Fucking dookie water.
Just go ahead and
Just
join.
the boyfriend only tested positive for it.
Oh, and that's your other
You got
roommates
spawned in the
that
wrong
tested
time,
positive for
sorry.
it?
Well, and
Help.
actually,
Help.
I didn't see the other girls on the test, but
But did
we
he
all
not?
had to take a week off work.
Got the bomb.
He literally like the. I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. I'm not.
The round is lost. Focus on the next one.
I'm sorry about that one. I do apologize.
Well, let him plan. Let's let him plan at least.
Why are you telling me fun? You're hot. I don't even think you even like
No
me.
way.
No, I don't like you at all, but I just I like you.
I like me at all, so I don't talk to people I don't like, so
Oh,
bye.
this is already backed up, huh?
Search and destroy.
Not you.
Oh, he's gone.
Help.
Second
Yeah.
pair of shoes on tonight.
All
Like
strata.
literally, that's.
Detonate the target to
I'm
win.
like, wait a second. As I was listening to the conversation, I'm like,
You've
I
secured
just.
the device.
No, because he told so many inconsistencies. I really wanted up because I'm sorry. Like I derailed.
No, don't be sorry. I was trying to sort it out. I was like, wait a second. Like, did I hear that
Too
wrong? The
easy.
biggest one that stuck out to me.
Mission
all
failed.
one
That's too easy.
He
That's
came
too
here
easy.
loudly announcing the vaccine did not work because
Look at this
he got
nasty
vaccinated,
kill.
got
So
COVID.
nasty.
But he never fucking
So
got
nasty.
COVID. He got
Yeah.
Like Connor McDavid. Ooh.
Like, guess what?
Haley, wait, sorry, Haley. I was gonna make a lie, but you're a liar. So never.
Wow.
So kids, get vaccinated. Clearly it works. Even if you don't have a bachelor's degree.
You gotta be
He said
18 plus to get roasted on
Oh
that
my
test.
god, man.
Right, and he said
Alright.
that they. Yeah, sorry. Ugh, I'm just so
No, good.
like they lie. You have to pick up on these things when they lie and tell stories. The same way with like when we're talking about racism and like a white kid gets jumped by a bunch of like kids of
Mhm.
color or like what I mean. It's like really.
Mm-hmm. Get all the little details.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. All right. Well, we'll get on to the next debate then.
Yeah. I can stop if you want.
Anonymous, thank you for the gifted sub. I don't know who you are, but I love you, you sexy beast. Thank you for the gifted sub.
What's the current number on Twitch?
1540, 1,500.
We are 10 away, people. We need 10 more of you beautiful humans to go over to Twitch and follow Carbon Says right there up above. KARBONSAYS. I should be a cheerleader, right? Go over there.
Bitch,
please, one of you.
bitch
I need
follows
that.
me. What about you?
Yeah. It's not peer. It's not peer
you-
pressure.
you
It's
have
just
a
your
Twitch?
turn.
Oh, wow.
You don't-
deleted
you
your
don't-
Twitch because I created it. Well, that's
You
I have a
deleted Twitch.
question. Why are you asking a woman of color to like spend her money on you?
You
Following
don't have
costs,
to. You just you can
following
just be
costs
ad
nothing.
revenue.
Subscribing costs money. Following costs you nothing.
Not the oppression.
Why?
Did I forget him? Did he just take his seatbelt off while I was driving and fall asleep on the floor?
Are you asking?
Creators. Easy. That's fucking crazy.
Damn. Oh, what's
Yeah,
happening? What's
yeah,
happening?
Streamo.
I was gonna mention something, but I can't do it. So I'm up.
You could just say it very slowly so we can screen record it.
Oh right. I'm not getting caught up. I don't know. Anyways.
Yeah. Alright, next debate. Let's go. Let's see what this is.
Securing Charlie. Elimination.
Alright, Tony in real life.
Charlie,
Tony, you are live. How you doing today?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, well, I can hear you. What's up? SpongeBob,
What's
how you
up,
doing?
man?
What you
I
want
have
to
one
do today?
question.
Yeah.
6. What happened?
Are you from the US?
Securing objective Bravo. No.
All the way from. Okay. I don't know if you know too much about our political system here, but we Donald Trump lost the 2020 election. People like got mad and committed violence.
We are
as a
losing
result,
Bravo.
and tried to stop and overturn the results of the election via violence. That was a terrorist attack.
And who do you support? Secure Bravo.
Who do I
The
support?
non-fascist.
I don't support politicians. I would vote for a politician over another, like Biden over Trump, but I don't support Biden. I don't.
Enemy is securing Bravo.
Like he could have sided with Union once.
Enemy is taking Bravo.
But he didn't do that. He didn't care about the demand. And now look what we got. We
Objective
got this
Bravo is
fucking shit going
compromised.
on in
Take
Ohio.
securing objective
with
Alpha.
the,
Oh my God! Have you seen how many
the train.
what is it like 5 journalists have been arrested so far?
Journalists being arrested for reporting on it. You got the fact that the rail companies, like the lobbying, they lobbied Congress to undo the regulations on some of these, like on what kind of rates they can use, and if they had used those rates that those regulations went through, it would have prevented the wreckage. But Trump sided with them.
But even
sided with the
Enemy is
lobbyists.
securing Charlie.
even on top of that, like there was regulations on the what's it called on the chemical systems that you can put in those.
You can transport like hazardous materials. Yeah, that's
Oh, someone said I'm in Ohio.
American in Ohio of all fucking places.
Someone said I'm in Ohio. I've seen it if you're on perspective. Bro, I've been seeing on Twitter like people driving through it for like 40 minutes and like their cars like corroding.
Oh dear God.
It's actually insane. Is there anyone else on the left? Or do you want me to drop the whole echo chamber?
Echo, echo.
Don't start yelling at us. That'll be fun.
The enemy controls 2 objectives. Push the offensive.
2 people.
No, for real. Help, nothing.
Real quick. How is everybody doing this evening? Or morning?
Who is this?
Do you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, bitch, we tried to have this conversation earlier today, but it wasn't working.
Yep. Well, Nicole, this is not what this channel's for.
I wanted to just ask you. No. I just wanted to ask you. I wanted to ask you because you tried to apologize earlier, but you apologized for the wrong thing. You told my black boyfriend yesterday. You told my black boyfriend yesterday.
Man, Bradley, Nicole, I'm not doing this. You're not taking over someone else's channel because of your personal beliefs.
Well, I'm trying to fucking
Stop
debate.
it.
Go
away.
Clear out your grievances.
Enemy UAV active.
Ridiculous.
How?
Resupply.
Guest request.
Secure Bravo.
Someone else, I've got from another live's been following me around.
How you doing?
Securing objective Bravo. Friendly UAV online.
I don't know, I'm very aggressive oriented, so I don't know.
Wait, pause. You remind me of that guy from Twilight, the guy with the vampire with the creepy smile. You remember him? No, the Twilight one. Do you remember from the Volturi?
Am I supposed to be right-leaning for this debate?
Yeah, we generally like if you disagree with these points, then that's yeah.
All right, goodbye. Sorry.
No worries. You have a pleasant voice.
Thank you very much.
Very relaxing voice.
That's so lovely. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
This guy.
Yeah,
Hi, nerd.
I don't know.
Yo.
Jamie
Hold
says,
on.
okay, said hi. Jamie says hi.
Jamie!
Does no one remember him from Twilight? Help.
Mm-mm.
That's who he reminded me of.
Wait, hold on.
This one's one food.
Too late. Epic Gamer, thank you for following on Twitch. Appreciate you.
It's setting mine.
Alright.
If it ends up getting like a echo chamber, you can drop it. Not Alex, how?
Yeah, that's Queen's English.
call me?
Good, how you doing?
Doing fantastic. What you want to debate?
Enemy is securing Bravo.
I literally just came up to say hi to him, but
How? I'm sorry. You're gonna get me kicked.
Bruh, I just
I'm
fucking
sorry.
can't.
I love you too much.
Securing objective Alpha.
Alright.
Friendly UAV on
Bruh.
station.
Okay, but I'm scared. Oh, you are?
Man, it's still alive.
All objectives secure.
That homosexual is not immortal.
Yeah. Do you think it's immoral?
Okay. I'm not saying
But
I do think homosexuality is immoral. Yeah.
Why?
Because I believe that a man should not be with another man. Because that's not how you reproduce.
What if they don't want to reproduce?
Can we get anything?
Wait, it's not moral to not reproduce? It's like immoral to not reproduce?
Securing Charlie.
Okay. So, in the Bible, right, it says it doesn't say that you can be attracted to
Yep,
another
10
person,
seconds.
right? But it's when you act on the
Securing Alpha.
Act on the urges.
I don't believe.
Yeah, the desires.
I don't believe in the Bible.
We are losing
How
Charlie.
are you gonna convince me?
Well, that's
We
one of my main
control
points.
Alpha.
You know,
Enemy is securing
I don't
Charlie.
think you can use the Bible.
in my beliefs, it's wrong, and I don't
Enemy
think
is
it's
securing
right.
Yeah, but why? Okay, why does your belief say that it's wrong?
Because it's not how you reproduce of this and that.
Okay. So why is not reproducing wrong in your beliefs?
We are losing Alpha. We have lost Alpha. Secure Bravo.
And he ran.
What do you? He left.
Are we?
Hey, bro, like, okay, when we just revert to religion regarding like people's morality, I think it's so complicated, bro. Like, it's just like derails. Like, bro, I want to talk to you. At least some people like be like, oh yeah, well it's immoral because this, that, and the other, or it's immoral because the book says so. I'm like, fuck, dude.
Anyways, I'm mute.
Also, Mary, she didn't technically. Wait, so Mary's asexual, effectively.
No, but
Do I
Jesus.
even call her human?
Jesus.
Well, is Mary human?
What do
Also,
they call
Mary
him,
has
Nebula?
consent. So.
What they call it supernatural when you sleep with an angel and then you become the kid? A Nephilim.
Yeah, supernatural sex? Oh.
Sexy.
How?
It's just hot.
Lovely, honestly, low key. That you ever seen Scary Movie 2 when they went to the haunted house and she went
God,
with it?
not
That was Mary and God right there.
Come on, references. Come on, references.
Yo.
Anyway.
She was magic. Alright, who's flop book? Who is?
This is the same as before. We're not doing the personal beef tonight.
Wait, no, I'm actually trying to debate. I'm actually trying to debate.
Fantastic.
It's not about that. So, I guess I will try to debate the I guess like the hormone thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so, I guess so. Like that's like speaking on trans, right? Okay. So, my whole thing with that, I guess, is like just the age that starts, I guess. Like, I don't really agree
Yeah,
with...
so like puberty blockers, I mean, I don't think you should have to wait until you're 18 to take puberty blockers, because you've already gone through puberty. I feel like that's pretty tough. So like, I don't see why somebody should be forced for their own body, like to develop secondary sex characteristics that puberty blockers are meant to stop developing. I don't see why they should be forced to have a good reason for that, especially when there's like an obvious need regarding like either precocious puberty, somebody's going through puberty way too early, like you know, their gender identity doesn't match with their biological sex. I don't see any reason why we should block that. It seems the positives for that vastly outweigh the negatives. Now I would be against it. Now I think there should be like doctor consent and doctor medical assessments before they're given those things to make the ascertainment that they are. There's no need if you're just like a 12-year-old and you just want puberty blockers just covered. You should not be able to get those things. There should be like some sort of penalty for a doctor giving that out without like no medical assessment. But if there's a medical assessment and they can demonstrate to you, I don't see a problem with it. There's nothing moral about it.
Okay. Like, I guess that's fair in the sense, like, I'm not disagreeing with you on that. But I guess I just think, like, I don't know, because I do think about, like, how kids, like, I guess they can't, I don't know, like, when they make decisions, like, sometimes they end up regretting those decisions. Like, I know, like, there's things that I've done when I was younger that, like, I probably wish I didn't do, so, like, I don't know. I just think from that point
I would say one, I support like the parents. I think the parents have a lot of control over their kid's life, and I think the parents know what's best. I also think that doctors know what's best because they've well studied this. Obviously, the kids can't like consent and anything, but they can consent, and we know like that we can just like test that for kids later on after they turn 18, like whether they actually support them having gone through that hormone therapy when they were younger. And overwhelmingly, it's like a positive, and it helps like reduce suicidality, depression, anxiety, and stuff like that. That's just overwhelming amount of evidence that shows that. Like, study at least that
Fast as fuck, boy. Hey, have you guys heard about the sliding bridge?
Yeah, you could say like the kids doesn't consent, but like the parents did, and the doctors.
Or no, I'm tripping.
We secured the bomb. Demonstrated objective good that's happening to that individual. And so I think,
grenade in there.
You know, like,
Flashback here.
Like anything else.
Run.
You know, like if a kid has like a broken leg, obviously there is a demonstrated need for having a fixed leg.
Sniping through the doors on the left side.
So therefore, there
got him. I got you.
On a broken leg, you should still fix that kid's leg. Or like when it comes to like a kid, like a male who has gynecomastia, like a biological male who has gynecomastia.
We cleared out A. This dude says I'm gonna go plant on B.
Tissue overwhelmingly.
I'm sorry, bro. That's
like
where
that.
I went.
There seems to be a need. It doesn't want to go through.
They're coming up through back door D, back double doors B.
Right. So he may want to get like hormone treatment or
I pre-fired like a motherfucker and I still died.
That's overwhelming. Great game.
I'm just being honest.
Hey, my Snapchat is butthole collector 607.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, if you couldn't see, that's fine. But I was just gonna ask, because like I'm
keep that
26
in my head
and
now.
I've done a lot of shit in my 20s that I like regret.
Set
So
it
I
down,
don't think
guys.
it's like only like
I would what go? I'm confused.
Debilitating when you only like put regrets on children, right? Like, and I don't know if that makes sense.
No, yeah, like I'm trying to figure, like I get what you're saying. So like I was just saying, I guess from the point of view of like knowing that, I guess in my teen years and like when I was younger, that there's definitely things that I wish that I probably would have done differently. So I do kind of look at something like a big
That
decision,
seems like the guy
like,
with the better
like,
ping wins every
taking
fucking
child
game.
or something like that.
Yeah,
like,
that is how it goes.
Okay, like I don't know, like is that something? Like how do you know if that's really something that you want to do? 'Cause of,
court.
like a lot of people.
There's like been studies on this, right? We can compare kids who wanted to be on hormone therapy systems, and like they
Who did we lose?
They didn't really.
Cody. We lost Cody.
They consented anyway.
Me.
Compare that to kids who also have those same feelings, but they're.
I didn't have to do a lot, to be honest. This team fucking sucks. Except for Callie. Callie's putting on. The rest of his team fucking sucks.
We look at and we like track how their mental health.
If you speak the truth doesn't mean it doesn't hurt.
Like the negative effects that. Like,
No, one of the best songs ever made was "Can You Help Me Repair My Door" by Afro Man.
What that has on their mental health, and it's just I think the forcing function towards I think there's like a filtering system, like a forcing function towards wanting to be on people or hormones. It's very rare. Like the average cisgender person doesn't just want to be on hormones. They don't just want to take things. It's not like it gets you high. It's not
Got the
like
one
it makes
sniping
you
those
feel good.
doors.
It doesn't do anything to your body positively if you don't want it to do those things, right? Like a man who wants to be a man wants to get a deeper voice. A boy like wants to get a deeper voice. He wants to grow a little bit taller, right? He wants to run a little bit faster and stuff like that. He wants like the big muscles, right? And
Stop
puberty
there, bro,
blockers
it's back.
prevent him from doing that.
He's
The
going
girl,
back
they
to the
want to
room
look
now.
more like their mothers. They want to look more like women and stuff like that. They want to look like the women around them in society. Puberty blockers will prevent them from doing that, right? When it comes to like trans kids, right? They don't want to look like what
Hugs goes on Hugs
biological
this entire game.
female.
Who cares? You get a
take
scope
me
so you
anywhere,
can
I'm
look
a
through it,
wood.
you dumb
I'm
shit.
the
What the fuck?
Hey, talk shit to us.
My
your
boy,
teammates.
why are you trying to be quiet? Because your parents are next door?
So like
Wait,
I just feel like
was I really talking
they
shit to my
should
teammates?
be able to do with their own bodies what they want to. Given the fact that we have like, so much overwhelming people, it's overwhelming the amount of people
you only
who
live
do
once,
go
bro.
through those treatments that actually don't regret those treatments at all.
I'm not gonna lie, I think Afro Man didn't get rated for no
So,
reason. He
do
got
you
rated for
agree,
having money
guess,
while being
with,
black.
Like, okay, so would it be
boy,
like
Afro
under
Man?
like gender affirming care?
They
like,
did him
things
dirty,
like
man.
Getting,
They busted down his gate and his sword.
breasts
that's my
and
boy
stuff
right
cut
there.
off. Like, do you agree with that being
I've
like
met him on
gender
my good
affirming?
side.
For
We
kids
addressed,
or-
you know, I'm glad, I'd like to
Holy
mention
shit,
that
watch out,
place.
bud.
We
Yeah,
actually
Rascal.
addressed
I don't gotta watch
the
out for nothing,
on-
man. They don't
the
even know I'm here.
together in gender affirming care.
They're about
The
to.
model of
Holy
care that
cow.
includes
No, they're gonna
several
walk
things.
right past me. Just
The
wait.
first thing, primary, anything else is going to the primary care physician.
These guys aren't
Then
military
wish.
trained.
after you
They're not gonna
primary
check
care
their corners.
therapist, you then
They're in the
refer
middle.
to a therapist.
They're right there.
Then you go with therapy. It's this process where they determine, do you have gender dysphoria? If the and you don't have to have gender dysphoria to be trans, but for a youth to get gender affirming care, they do have to have that.
No, yeah, I get that. I understand that.
For youth, they do have to have that. So first you have the gender affirming care.
Get him, bud.
Then
Get
the
him.
You're
next
not checking your
after a
corner.
minimum of 6 months.
There's somebody
Frequently, it's up
behind
to a
you.
year. After 6 months to a year,
got
then
bombed
puberty
down on me.
blockers can begin if
Yeah,
there is
you're on
gender
PC,
dysphoria.
bro.
But as far as any kind of surgeries, with very little exception, surgeries
No,
aren't
yeah, yeah.
offered
I'm not
until they're
speaking
18.
just, yeah. I'm not
they're
speaking
not-
just on kids. Like, I know,
Yeah.
like, a lot of minors don't
Rascal,
get, like,
inside of the
those
bomb
kind
room.
of
Sure,
surgeries.
sure.
I'm saying just, like, in general, like, do you
Oh, he
think
knows.
things like that should
He
be,
knows.
like, covered under insurance? Because then
Oh,
when
under
I...
insurance, yes. Well,
Okay,
I-
so
I-
the
extremely
only reason I
expensive,
look at that
Yeah.
because then you look
Oh,
at
yeah,
things
he
like plastic
knows.
surgery and like
Oh, he knows.
That's a great
covered
question.
any kind of
That's a-
insurance and like
Good
you
shit,
could honestly
Rascal.
argue on some points 'cause,
Oh,
like they will
Marlo.
argue like oh
Bad
like
shit,
that
Rascal.
makes me feel better
Yep.
like
Oh, I
my
can't say.
confidence like self.
He's in the hallway to your
Wait,
right
what do
when
you
you
mean?
go in. He's
Like,
got a
what's the
rocket
issue
launcher.
with insurance paying for?
He said that was
Good
confident,
night,
but
Melody.
this
I'll
guy
miss
So
you
ain't
like I
gonna do
do
it.
know some insurance like cover like the whole like if you want to get your breasts cut off like if you're a
No, I'm saying
trans
we're like,
man.
wait, we're talking
Oh,
about
that's pretty cool.
you just compared it to a plastic surgery, right? So
He killed
I'm
you with a
asking you,
50
so
cal.
what would be the
Dude,
problem
stop
if
using your laser.
insurance
Freaking
companies
laser.
I don't know. I think
do
that's like his
pay
best
for
friend right there.
like plastic surgery?
Go, best friend.
If I
That's
want to
my
get my
best
Yeah,
nose
friend.
done,
Yep.
like what would
Yeah,
be
yeah.
the
So I'm
like,
saying
Hit that.
that's what I'm saying. Like they don't like because it's elective. It's considered like an elective
right? But
procedure.
why do you agree with it?
Daddy, after we get through these doors.
Like,
No,
why-
that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying I agree with that. I'm saying
you're
like
just
why
saying that
one.
Cruise missile?
Yeah, I'm saying like why would one like because they're pushing for like
Yeah,
all of that
when
to
it
be
comes to like
covered under
certain elective,
insurance, but like
I threw a
Good shot.
yeah,
joker
when it comes
in
to like certain
midair,
elective
so watch
things,
out.
like, I don't know. I guess
They've got
it depends on the
RPGs
cost
pointing
of
down
the
dining
treatment.
hall.
Should be able to. But when it comes to
Dining
like
hall.
gender
Oh,
affirming
I'm gonna
care,
try to
I
go
think that
around
probably
them.
should be covered under insurance because it actually does treat gender dysphoria.
Salon.
That is
no, yeah.
Is it-
So I was
think
kind
so.
of I guess I was like trying to
Got one,
argue
got
like
one?
the same thing because like
I'm gonna go get the
for a
last two
lot
for you,
of
buddy.
plastic surgeries,
Oh,
I
nope,
guess
they
you
got
could kind
me.
of
Holy
argue
cow.
from the aspect
Half
of
of
like,
them
oh,
have
like
those.
this is like the way I'm looking is affecting
all-
my
like-
mental health. Why can't I get
Gotta wake
that
up early
for like
tomorrow.
I
basically
don't know the
free?
way I view it is just like, well, it's a medical procedure,
shot.
so and you paying for insurance, so
No,
insurance
hiding
should
in the
cover it.
corner.
Like I don't see an issue with for gender affirming care being on insurance one,
Well,
and I don't
they're
have an
hiding like some whores.
yeah, and I don't have an issue with the comparison that what if gender affirming care is, you can argue it's like plastic surgery, and plastic surgery isn't, you know, the insurance doesn't pay for plastic surgery. I'm saying I don't have an issue with either, and that's why I was asking why do you
Get the fuck out of here, bro. You just took a shotgun to the face.
I like Mexican DPs.
Not that, yeah, like, I don't
There's not
think
even a
that,
marker in that kill cam.
like, yeah, I don't think that it shouldn't, like, if it did, like, I wouldn't be,
No
I
pain,
wouldn't
no
have a
gain,
problem
baby.
with it. I'm just saying
No pain, no
that I don't
gain.
understand why one has, like, this
Exactly
big
what she
push, like,
said.
oh, that should be covered under, like, basic care, whatever, but
I
then the
think-
other one is still looked at as, like, oh, this is, like,
I
an
wish my nose
extreme
job was
thing.
covered.
Yeah,
Personally, I
that's what I'm
wish I could
saying.
get a nose
Fair.
job, you know?
I mean,
So like
that's
I don't disagree with you. I just think that
And- and-
everything's like the medical procedure. Sorry.
Honestly,
Fish.
Flop, I'm sorry. Honestly, Flop, I had gastric bypass surgery 4 years ago, so I've lost 180 pounds. So I have not had the extra skin removal yet. So that surgery is incredibly expensive. And it is only covered by some insurances for a more minor version, not the full tummy tuck and everything else that you need to get. There's and I can't remember the name of the exact procedure, but there's one version that is covered and another one that's not. Do I wish they both were covered? Sure, I do.
I'll go
But are there a
for
lot of
B-bomb.
insurances that cover neither? Yeah, and
Yeah,
there's a ton of them won't touch either one of them.
rascal.
I'm
It's
sorry,
gonna
but
be
that flick
tens
was
of thousands
fucking
of dollars
nasty.
probably to do all the things.
That
My
flick was
husband,
insane.
my husband got like gastric bypass too.
That's your
15
payback for that one
years
round.
ago. He's still in debt
is.
for it.
Oh yeah,
Like,
easy.
and that was
all you
something
get.
about affecting his health, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
They're gonna go to A.
I
You
think
should
the
go watch the
fundamental
clip,
flaw,
bro. That
honestly,
flick was
I'm not-
nasty as
what I
fuck.
would say is,
you already said
you know, even with the extra skin,
That was fast as
you know,
fuck, boy.
those situations, that's not something that that causes the same type of dysphoria that is causing people to unalive
Oh, the
themselves,
bomb's right here by
which
me,
is why
bro.
it's a different kind of healthcare.
There's no
Does that
fun.
make
Oh,
sense?
bro, he's AFK.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
oh, never
I
mind.
just understand
Guess
like
he
both
wasn't
be
AFK.
argued from the aspect of mental health.
Yeah,
I was AFK,
hope-
leave
would
me
I like
alone.
it both be paid for? Hell yeah.
Actually, yeah.
Yeah, if there was like a demonstrated
Away from cock.
if there was like a demonstrated body of evidence that is
But now I'm back on cock.
like that causes
Yeah,
like those
that's
other
right,
things,
that's all you
those
do.
nonsense, like related.
So you got ads before
I
your
guess
streams,
mental
but yet you're not
health
monetized on them?
effects
What kind
of
of crack
having
smoking,
these
dick
things
fucking shit is that?
that you don't like.
No,
you
I
know,
get
on-
monetary
aligned
gain
with
for you
the
watching an ad.
Then if there was like a wide body of evidence,
But I
What
have
the
them
thing is,
turned
I
off.
should
I
close-
have them turned off everywhere I can. Turn them off on.
you know, gender dysphoria guys.
But whenever you enter the
then
stream,
maybe
it forces you. So I'm gonna start.
like it would be a lot stronger to allow.
I'm gonna start just
allow-
closing out your stream and reopening so I can get your monetary
Or you
gain.
just started an insurance.
Bro,
company
don't
that
even.
does
It's
cover
not
that,
even
you
worth
know,
the
you
time
know,
to take you to do that.
just don't do it just because that's just what they do, you know.
Yeah.
Watch out,
Anything
right
for
here.
you,
Zaddy.
You want to minimize cost all the time.
Wait, okay, so I did want to like debate like LGBTQ,
Where
but
he
I don't
at,
know
though?
if I can get into all of that. So I don't.
Hey, bro.
Alright.
Hey,
did you want to debate?
Oh.
I mean, like, okay, like I
Where's he at?
can. I guess
Oh.
I just have like some opinions, not really about the whole, but I guess more so the tea of the community. I have.
Told you.
Yeah. Like no, like the trans.
Look at Snowman having more than one.
Wow. T, the letter T, gotcha.
Yeah.
So you have the T on the key. I was like,
Help, I'm like, spill it. I was like, wait, what's that?
No,
Just
no.
2 and
what-
6.
Yeah. What about?
You do the same thing with Sniper, shut up.
Okay. So, okay. So
just
I
wondering
guess
who's
I
on
just
7.
don't really know. Okay. So
Oh,
my
I'll point
thing
out,
with the
so
whole like trans, like non-binary, all that stuff.
I don't know, but I wouldn't want to be
guess
them, though.
I
I'll
just
tell you that.
feel like
That's embarrassing.
it's like always evolving, and I feel like no one really agrees on the same thing. So a lot of it doesn't really make any sense to me
Don't have a
because there's
UAV
all
on it.
these
What
different
specifically?
opinions.
I'm gonna throw a
Like,
grenade right there.
okay, so like there are a lot of
Oh,
trans
who's
people
down?
who don't consider like
Planet Egg.
non-binary
I
under
think
the
my
trans
grenade killed you,
umbrella, and then
dude.
there are a lot that say that it is.
Whoever was
Like
down,
there's
I
like
think
a
my
lot of
grenade killed
these,
you,
yeah,
dude.
like it's
I
like
fought.
I don't know, like things are getting like
They're by
conflated, and
Chandelier
like,
right
a lot
now.
of people don't agree on the same thing.
Never
So
mind, he's dead.
it just all kind of seems like this jumbled up
Sounds like top
mess
bedroom,
of
east side.
just, like make believe, made up stuff.
It's not made up. Can I ask you please? Now I'm gonna do my best to be a lot more.
Oh shit! On top staircase.
Well. But please don't say something true. That's really again, as someone who's LGBT, who's gay, in the community, referring to other people in our communities make believe is incredibly insulting and very disrespectful. Please have an honest conversation, not be disrespectful to other people.
No, yeah, I'm not. Okay. So
whenever
I'm
you
not. I promise
Damn,
I'm not trying.
I know. And
4 and 7. GG's, Rick.
We're playing one
We had a
more.
guy who went 0-8-1-7. Shut the fuck up. You lost the
and
game.
say, you know, because
I'm
again,
still
like I was
at
saying
the top.
yesterday, or
Rick, I still got
That's crazy, That's crazy, bro.
these
That's
same
crazy.
arguments
You
were used.
fucking
I'm at the top. Dude, I'll lick your ball sack right now.
I just don't.
Okay, so I look at it from, I guess, like the position of. Okay, so I kind of feel like it's doing a lot of harm to the community
How?
as a whole.
How was it?
I guess if you just kind of like take a step back and like look at it, like I guess like outside looking in also, you can just kind of see that like there, I don't know, like I feel like there's more hate going towards that. Like if you look at a lot of the laws and things and you look at things that Congress and like politics focus on lately, they're mostly focusing on like things like that. Like they're talking about the bathroom issue and like, oh, can you use this bathroom or that bathroom? Like those kinds of laws, like what should be taught in schools, like things like that. I feel like it's mostly that kind of thing. And then it's kind of causing like a harm and like a backlash on the community as a whole when like gay people don't have that same issue. Like gay people aren't wanting to be like, oh, I want to use this bathroom instead of like,
wow,
that's like a completely separate issue. And I just feel like we don't fight for the same exact things.
Yeah,
So I'm saying like
there's a whole community of people who are trying to prevent gay people from being able to adopt, being able to marry, and being able to discriminate against those gay people, not just trans people. Like, that's why.
yeah, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that because I do know like homophobia still exists. I'm not saying that homophobia is like gone. I'm just saying that like I think that there is more focus on one part of it, and then it's kind of causing like a backlash on the community as a whole, because then it's like that whole opinion is being put on the whole entire community, not just like a subset of it.
I have a question.
If that makes sense, like I don't know, I don't know if that makes sense or not.
I do, but here's what I'm viewing it from. It's giving all lives matter. It's giving the issue is classism, not like racism. It's giving. I was a poor white man. I struggled too. So your struggle, we struggle the same, right? That's what it's giving to me. Because it's you're saying that like, oh, my struggle is more important than your struggle, and I'd rather fight it alone.
No.
However, but gay trans but what's it called? Black trans women are what gave gay people rights. Like that's what is part of the whole movement.
Yes, that's what we're speaking about knowing your history. The number of trans women of color that fought for your rights that you currently enjoy is something that can't be discounted whenever you want to say, okay, well, you know, they're going through that, I don't want to associate with them or have them be a part of our community. You enjoy the rights.
Honey, you're cutting off this.
Why is my?
It's not cutting off. It's just you're muffled. So I think
sorry.
you need to come closer.
Yeah, I was like muffled a bit.
Damn it. No, so I'm also trying. My partner's sleeping, so I'm trying to be respectful there. So no, I'm saying, as I mentioned before, a lot of the rights that you enjoy today are because of trans women of color who were some of the very first fighting for our equality as an entire community.
One in the
community
hallway.
first had so many trans women of color that were fighting for us, and so now it's saying, well, yes, people are 100% currently making a lot of legislation, not just against gay people, but against the trans community as well. But to then say that we don't want to be there for them is kind of, I agree with what Hip is saying, kind of giving the all lives matter thing. You know, we have different facets of our community, but we have all the same struggles. And, you know, and we are all targeted for similar things over the years. And this is not new. This happens every decade of focusing on something else in our community. Again and again and again. I've seen it happen repeatedly in my lifetime. And it will keep happening. But we have to recognize
when-
that this is a part of our, even though that they're not the same area of the our community, they are a part of our community, you know, an umbrella of many people and many identities.
And when we lack intersectionality, like in these conversations, like
Shut on.
the same people who are like voting against learning African American history are the same people who are voting against gay gay people trying to adopt, are the same people restricting trans rights, right? It's like the same thing. So when you only fight for yourself or for your own, like, and your marginalized group, and you're leaving everyone else out for it to fight their own, it's not
one's in
okay.
mid
Like,
bus. Good shot.
you wouldn't, like, what's the point of being in community if you're not in community? Like,
No, I get what you're saying. So, like, I guess I'm more so going on, like, things that are said, like, okay, like, say, like, I've heard people say that you're transphobic if, like, you're a gay man and you say, like, oh, well, like, I really wouldn't probably date a trans man. Like,
That's
I don't
preference.
understand things like that.
that's preference, and it's giving chronically online. But like a lot of these times is the conversations that we're hearing about, like, trans/non-binary is mostly online. I know outside in the like outside non-binary trans, and we're like, they're all part of the umbrella. Like, these conversations don't happen. I think it's only online or like on Twitter. I just think it's, I mean, I've been called a lot of isms, right, for like these opinions, and it's not. I don't think it's a preference. I think it's a preference not to want to date who you are, like who you want to be. But and the preference needs to come out of like a genuine
What's that
thing,
veto?
right?
When I spawned.
I don't know if that makes sense. Like, it's here's an example I used earlier, and I always use this example. It's like when people don't like Obama, I kind of question them, and I'm like, well, why don't you like Obama, right? And they say something about like his policies. I'm like, okay, cool, W. But if you don't like him in general, he was a bad
Watch the
president,
crash.
or he wore a tan suit. That's what it's giving racism. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't old enough to vote for Obama, so I
Help!
don't know.
Oh my god.
But
But that's not the like. The point is because like he's obviously a black man. If you dislike him because of his policies, that's a valid criticism. But if you dislike him just because of that, but you're not inherently saying it, you're racist. The same way with like trans people. So if like you wouldn't date a trans person because it's just like it's not something you prefer, right? Like you just like to sleep with like this type of person, that's fine. But if you don't want to sleep with a trans person because you don't believe that's who they are, then that's transphobic.
no, yeah. So okay, so it's not because I don't see them like as a man. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. Maybe that's but I don't know. I guess you're probably right. Like more of these conversations are online, and then I just feel like, okay, like this makes us all look completely stupid, and like neo pronouns and all this other stuff. Like I don't know. Like I feel like it does like more because more people see that stuff. So then like the conservatives take that stuff and they kind of run with it,
They're all
when that's
dying
not
off,
really
so I'm not worried
the
about that.
community as the whole. So then I'm like, okay, that's making us look like a bunch of clowns, and I don't even agree with a lot of that stuff. But
Why would you not want to learn more about the things that you don't know or understand and be able to speak for our entire community rather than siding with people and actively taking a stance against your own community?
so okay, so I've like someone has said that to me before. I don't think that because I don't like I debate conservatives all the time.
But you defend a lot of conservative stances against the community, though. That's something that's very clear from our conversation already. You've taken several positions that are against the LGBTQ community, against parts of the community.
I look at it just more. I don't want to like harm that's like brought on by that. If that, like I don't know, am I making sense or no?
Not really. I mean, no. And I'm gonna say it much more calmly than yesterday. I will again, since we're having a calm conversation. I'll apologize. What I said to you that you're not part of the community was bullshit, and I was wrong.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
I was out of line.
No, I wasn't
completely out of
upset
line
about that. Like I was more like confused when you were
Now
like.
kiss.
No.
No, we're both taken. So
You
no.
guys are like apologizing. to each
No,
other.
but
No,
I gotta get
the
to the next
thing-
guest.
yeah,
Okay, yeah.
yeah.
The only thing I had a problem with was the whole like segregation comment, cause like I am black, so. I was
No,
like,
and I don't deny your race. I don't deny that at all. The point that I was making was not that you don't have that experience. My point was the things that we used against our community, said against our community for things being taught in schools, were the same things being taught about segregation in schools. That
One's
was my
tunnel
entire
right
point.
next to me.
It wasn't anything else but that.
Okay, that's fair.
Got him.
All right,
Stuff.
well,
I hear another one.
We'll
Got
go
another
to the
one.
next guest request.
Got
Thank
him.
you for coming on. Okay.
Okay,
There's one more, one more.
I appreciate you.
Oh, almost got him.
Got him.
Bitch, I was
Right
going
side.
to do like the what's his name meme? What's his name?
Got
The
him.
thing is, he's holding two pigeons. He's like now Kith.
Oh my God.
That's the
That's
help.
who
Oh,
you're
on
thinking
top.
of.
Archer?
Yeah.
Oh shit. Oh my god, no, I missed all of those.
Could you explain?
Yeah, he's on top of the white trailer.
Yeah, they just they prevent the
Pause.
they prevent or delay the development of secondary sex characteristics.
Can Plato explain them? What they do?
Pause.
They put a pause on puberty.
Oh shit. Behind RV.
Friendly UAV on station.
I don't know who this guy is. He's like saying I don't know what he's talking about. He's saying slaves have also been more than black.
Bombing them.
That's
Yeah,
what
don't
they-
go too far. Don't go
and
too
he
far.
said the army protect us from international mutants. Wait, what, bro?
I don't know.
Good veto.
Bro, I don't know
was
what
gonna
to
say.
take, but I want some of it.
Is it available over the counter, or where do I get it?
They're throwing nades, watch out.
There's a bunch on me. Right in front of me.
All the pause in the comments.
I'm scared.
Oh, fuck.
That
All
must
right.
have-
On to the next debate. If you want to debate, hop in the guest request. If you're just watching, I would prefer you watch over on Twitch. Twitch is a much better experience. We have a saxophone lo-fi music in the background. I'm at 1,541 followers.
Someone's got
I don't like
RPG
that we're
back.
being
They're-
odd.
yeah, they're back. Watch
One
out,
more
no
follower
pressure.
would make it even. That'd be nice.
Nope.
Over on Twitch, much better viewing experience. So thank you guys.
It is very much. Everyone go support his Twitch. Everyone go do it. Black History Month.
Yeah.
Do it.
Wait, are
Also,
you on Twitch?
Brianna Gray, yeah.
Help.
What was her
white
last name?
person,
How do you
woman of
spell-
color.
Shot.
Brianna, is it Brianna Gay? Is that her last name?
No. Is that the minor?
Oh.
Who was unalive
RV.
by transphobic
RPG in the
people,
tunnel.
but they're not even mentioning the fact that she was trans at
Yeah.
all as a mention of like a hate crime,
Yeah.
quote unquote. So
Oh,
they're
dude,
just
of course.
dismissing her identity.
Yep. And
There's
that's,
another one in
this
tunnel, he's
happens.
got
I mean,
riot
I forget
shield.
how many
Got him.
this year. Any of our trans friends in the
Stuff.
comments know how many trans people have been on a live this year?
I'm gonna hit a mortar
It's
strike in
already-
respawn.
It's like
And the only
Friendly
time they
mortar strike
wanted
inbound.
they do
Ow.
acknowledge that the person
1 minute
is trans is
left.
when they want to use the quote unquote trans.
Oh yeah. They're on the right side. Nice.
yeah. So again,
damn,
if you're
got two.
listening, this is why we need to really step up. This is why people are literally losing their lives.
GG's.
Dead name.
All saber. Mission
Yeah.
accomplished.
It's awful. It breaks my heart. How do you get to the Twitch account? You go to Twitch and you type in Carbon Says, KARBONSAYS.
Or if you want, you could just click on my
I'm
profile
right.
picture, go to the link in my profile, my bio, and click the top link. That is Twitch.
Not the second
If you
one.
don't
that-
have Twitch and you don't care for Twitch and you don't want another app on your phone, if you already have Discord, hop on into my Discord. My Discord is open and accessible. But if you don't have room on your phone, go ahead and delete like 2 or 3 apps that you don't ever use, and then download Twitch. It's much better on your battery too, by the way, if you want.
Everyone delete. Okay, so here's what: delete those pictures that you took of like when you were studying, like
Yeah.
you know when you were in undergrad,
Those-
like 4 years ago. Like you
Those
can delete
shitty
those now.
selfies that you have, yeah, delete those.
Wow.
You can delete the pictures of like the whiteboards, like when you were in undergrad, a picture of like the notes that the professor took. You can delete those. You don't need them anymore.
Delete Candy Crush. Delete that little restaurant game that you got going on.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
delete that shit. All right.
Yeah. And keep in mind, while the first link in the bio is the Twitch, the second one is the spicy link. So go there.
Stop.
Help! Not you being a whore.
Damn, boom. Why you up to
You go outside like
Can I pull
that?
up from this map?
Go outside like
Yeah.
that? No, I'm
Why are you
objectifying that.
marginalizing African Americans for trying to make their money through
Oh.
any means necessary?
No, do you
Wow,
leave the
that's
house
crazy.
like that? You leave the house like that?
Yeah, we play it.
You walk in front of your mom like
Oh my
that?
god, wait, hold on. Cut off. Princess Slayer, thank you for the 5 gifted subs. You brought us to our 20 gifted subs
Yeah,
goal.
fair
Thank you
enough.
so much.
Pull
Princess
out.
Slayer.
Pull out. Never
Wait,
I
pull
love
out.
you.
Pulling out's
I
Is
love
the name
you.
Princess
I love you.
Leia? Like
Well,
S-L-A-Y?
it's Princess underscore SLE. Like, so it's like Princess Slayer, but if you
Well,
say it
there
all
go-
at once,
Hell,
it's
that's
Princess
her
Slayer.
W username.
There goes my hopeful drag name. Someone took it already.
Right? That's an amazing
Oh,
name.
Thank you, Princess. Appreciate
said
it.
that. That's some
By
fucking
the way,
real
I'm not
shit,
shaming
man.
sex workers. I'm just objectifying a
Here
man.
is fucking
Fair.
sniper
It's
head.
harder
and
for us,
shit.
okay?
Fuck.
Literally.
Right, right.
Hate this
Quite
man.
literally, yeah.
Help, you.
You know what I mean?
Did I tell you that I want to do a conservative drag queen character called Misinformation?
Jam.
We have the device.
TM that right fucking now before someone steals it.
Yeah,
Say
copyright.
TM. Legally say TM, TM, TM.
NRL,
Let's go.
Carol,
Oh, you're
Mata
running live
Fields,
show
I don't know
too?
if you know the-
That was a lot of
Oh,
letters.
right down the fucking
Well, I
mid,
got
dude.
some-
Right down mid.
What?
Right shit, right in front
Oh,
of
wait
you.
for
Good
his
shit.
drag.
You got it.
Princess Leia
Bobby
said
Boucher.
you could borrow it.
To your right.
Right
Bobby,
shot behind
Bobby,
you.
Bobby,
Behind
Bobby,
you.
Bobby,
Behind you.
Bobby,
Behind you.
Turn it, turn it, turn it.
The reason I don't have to go to work.
Tunnel behind you.
I'm kidding. I still gotta go to work.
Cut
Fuck
through.
that car. Bobby behind you.
Because it's Barbie, I'm gonna pass it too. I am.
What the fuck? You guys should let them have that fight out, bro.
New England state.
W. Yeah. My niece goes there, waiting for a text back was the scariest
Bro,
thing of my
Bobby,
That was
life.
bullshit.
Where you at, Bobby? Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah, it was bad, but she's safe.
Yeah,
Thankfully.
that's good.
Fuck these guys, dude.
Hi, Scrubs. So I guess I
So if you
prefer.
wanna
shot me.
you know what she's doing now.
Help.
If y'all wanna debate how many guest requests are open,
Hey.
Come on, let's go.
Yeah, I can
Hey,
drop if
Hudson,
y'all
thank
don't
you
want
for
an
following the
echo
Twitch.
chamber.
Appreciate you.
If they don't want an echo chamber, I can drop. If you guys are
It's so
scared
funny.
of like a
we'll
little
have
girl.
like, it's so it happens every fucking stream. We'll have like 1,000 people watching, and then we have like 4 or 5 people all throwing shade at each other, debating. And then when the one guy comes out, he leaves, right? He runs, and then like the new person who just joined the live, like to watch, is like, look at this echo chamber. It's not a debate.
No, for
It's
real.
so funny every
Or no,
time.
I hate the like 5v1s or the 3v1s, and it's like, baby boy, like they